Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. Alright, somebody... Alright, I need a swear jar. Except for swearing, instead of swearing, I just need to have to put in $5 every single time I forget to turn off the repeat function on the audio player for the theme song. That has gotta be like 8 straight weeks of you doing that every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Friday, September the 8th, 2017. All day today, we've got a fine podcast for you. We've crested 25. We are on to episode 26. And kind of like last week, at the last possible second, a couple of pretty big, or at least one, we'll say one, major video game related piece of news dropped. And so, I don't know how long it will take the conversation, but I can't wait to talk about it personally. Mr. MaximusBlack, how are you doing today, sir? Can you hear me?
Hello? I can hear you.
You can hear? I asked you how you were doing today, sir.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. I'm just kind of sitting here, just chilling, and I didn't hear a thing.
You're also
Are you
not
hussing?
muted in Skype.
Okay.
Are you hussing? Be honest with me.
No.
Are you hussing?
No.
I don't believe it.
Honestly, I was just looking at other podcasts on Patreon. Just kind of scrolling through that. I had Discord muted, so I didn't hear anything you said. I was live, but I didn't have it. Anyway, I'm good.
Good. Excellent. You should be good after the fanciful car outing that you had today with your new, if I hear the word downpipe one more time, I think I might actually, downpipe myself just in the fucking fit. but you got out on the road. It sounds lovely. It sounds something like Satan, beating Nazis. So, that's a great sound for your car to have. Really nice little whip crack on the downshift. It's lovely. You hear the whirs of the chargers in there. It's all so fancy. It's all so fancy. And then I got into my RAV4 and I put it in eco mode and I drove into Long and McQuaid today.
You know what? Eco mode right now is not a bad life choice because the gas prices are insane.
Holy shit, the gas prices.
Gas prices are fucking insane.
Oh my goodness, let me just get to the actual screen here. There we go. Yeah, the gas prices, dude. I topped up 2 weeks ago. And in that 2 week span, we've gone up, 23 cents?
Yep. It's supposed to go up again tonight.
No way. Yeah. Seriously?
It was, I put in 91 octane in mine, so it's $1.32, I think, right now, and it's supposed to go up to like $1.36 or 37.
No.
It's gonna be nuts.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be
93
putting
in.
No. They, at most pumps here, it's just 91.
Yeah. Well, because we've got the three. Well, we got three. What, like our regular is what 1.
I don't even know.
What is usually 87, 89, and 93? I'm surprised you guys have a 91 even.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it's expensive as fuck. Whatever it is, it's a lot of money, and if it's going up again, then we're hitting like what? We're getting close to our all-time high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
how many,
crap. I'm guessing that's hurricane related.
How many per gallon is it again? It's like what, 2 or 4?
Somebody did the math not that long ago. It was either Mr. Miyagi or somebody else, and he was like, "Oh my god, you guys are getting reamed," and I said, "Yes."
Yeah,
yes, we are.
3.7. 3.7 liters.
Wow, you guys are getting straight fucked. Holy crap! It's like 270. It's like 272 a gallon here.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yep. So it's a little rough, but we'll survive, I guess. I got my hybrid. I'll just be rubbing myself sitting in my hybrid out in traffic, not caring.
I filled up at the station today at like 6 o'clock. I just came home and I've got a half tank, and it cost me
Are you serious?
Cost me $77 to fill it up, and it wasn't even on E. Like there was like maybe a quarter of a tank. No, it was Lowe's. Yeah, it's. I burned about $40. I shit you not. I burned about $40 in gas in 2 hours of driving.
No,
I'm not even joking. I mean, I've been
Nope.
heavy on the pedal for obvious reasons because I just got it tuned today, so I'm sure that'll go down. But it's bad. It's pretty bad.
That's absolutely atrocious. Mr. Tabin, how are you doing today, sir? You're looking clean shaven. Was that because there was a meeting?
No, my Dollar Shave Club stuff came in, so I was trying it out.
Oh.
No, actually,
And
I'm like, it may use like having a beard makes it hard to do like skincare on your face sometimes. So I was like, let me reset my face a little bit, and then I'll go back to the beard. So I'll have the beard again in like 2 weeks.
It's very true. I'm still battling all this like crazy random patches of insanely dry skin underneath my beard.
Yeah,
and
like that's the funny part though. Like when I shaved the beard off, I realized that the skin under the beard was actually in really good shape. So I was just like, I need to get the rest of my face in line with that.
Oh no, my face has been all sorts of fucked up. The doctor's like, well, it's not psoriasis. I just have no idea what it is, so just start rubbing Nizoral shampoo all over your face for a few weeks and hope for the best.
The other part of it, I'm pretty much just like a
great.
straight bag of hammers today. So in my building, I actually literally they just moved us from one building to the one next door for some reason. And they decided that since our building doesn't have a cafeteria, they're gonna build a bridge between the two, so you can go between the two buildings without going outside.
Oh, really?
Now, in Infinite Wisdom, they said, you know what? We're just gonna build this bridge after we've moved everyone directly on top of where we're gonna build the bridge. So literally, right in the morning, walk in. They're literally sawing into the building, which is steel and stone with like industrial grade tools, maybe about 15 feet from where I sit. So I've been listening to that for about 8 hours straight.
Holy tits!
It's been a fun day.
That's always the best. Yeah, I've been dealing with them tearing down the building behind our place, and it's not even hyperbole. It's 35, 40 feet from the back side of the house.
Yeah, I posted a
and
picture on Twitter. It's literally like if I were to walk from my desk to the windows that are like closest to my desk, the guys are literally like right under it. Like they're like 5 feet away from me.
Oh
like,
yeah.
This sucks.
Oh, it's brutal. There's a backhoe that the dude turns the engine on at exactly 7:01 a.m. just shy of illegal. Just get in there, just turn it on, and then he is tearing down. It's all. I thought it was like,
He's like
all
drinking
wood
his
construction
coffee and
because the building
staring at
is
his
so old.
watch, and he turns the key at 7:01.
Yo, exactly at exactly 7:01, and he's like, "Ha get fucked, bitches!" And then I snap awake because he's tearing through I-beams. It's all friggin' steel construction in this building, so it's just like you're hearing this high-pitched whatever, and stuff's getting pulled over, and the ground shaking, and my house is like, you're hearing all this shit. Gabs has got earplugs in. That doesn't do fuck all. So we're just like, we've been doing this now for I think 4 or 5, no, maybe a week. But they take obviously Sunday. I think they have to take off. So we're a little strung out, but yeah, it'll be nice when it's gone because it's been an eyesore back there for forever and ever and ever. So it will be nice.
Wonderful PC going on though. I don't know if you can see it because my Skype is blocking.
Yes,
but it's.
Do you have your tubes cut yet?
Oh, absolutely not. The tubes literally came in like an hour ago.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's acceptable.
It's a measure 50 times, cut once type of deal.
Let's see here. Well, Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yeah.
I need you to hit me up with the noise. Are you ready?
Sure.
Hit me up with the noise of being able to get away with literally anything you ever wanted so long as you're white and have money.
I'm white. I'm rich and white.
That's accurate.
Jeff, can I?
Could you feel it? Could you
I
feel
felt
it for a moment, Jeff?
Oh, I felt
Did you feel it?
My mom's side just came right out of me, right there. Felt good.
Jeff, can I ask you for a sound? I know it breaks with the norm.
What's up?
But it's based on what Adam asked earlier. Can you hit us up with the sound of Satan beating Nazis?
Oh, okay.
Fuck. What do Nazis sound like?
Aggressive German.
Apparently you're
dive and got that.
Yeah, that does sound like his car.
That sounds that's roughly what the car sounds like, something like that. Anyway,
There you
put a microphone close enough. I think that's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, we're good. We can now get the show on the road.
Let's go.
Oh, good lord! So, ladies and gentlemen, in news that would shock basically
No one?
nobody. T. Martin and what's the other guy? Syndicate or whatever his name was.
Pro Syndicate and
Pro Syndicate.
Who else was it?
T. Martin.
It was T. Martin and there was
There's some other random.
Josh. Yeah,
a bunch of them.
Yeah, so this was this really early this year? Or was it late last year that this all started?
Last
up?
year.
Last
It's
year.
been over a year now.
Yeah,
Like Phantom
so
Lord waited exactly 1 year before he came back, and like
Yeah.
this one was literally like maybe a month before that one.
Yeah, so they, I mean, I'm sure most people would remember about it, but the long short of it is specifically, I guess the two biggest culprits of the whole thing. There are branching out people that have been attached to it, but at the core of it, it was T. Martin and Pro Syndicate, and they had started up. What was it? CSGO Lotto or whatever was the name of the website, or something along those lines. And basically, they were themselves and paying others to record themselves or live stream using the website for. Basically gambling for skins, CSGO skins. And, obviously some of these skins are worth an absolute fortune. And they rigged the system for themselves and for the others. Allegedly. Okay, I'm just allegedly. Allegedly rigged the system. So that they would win when they were on camera, and it would give the
Hey, look,
the
I
feeling,
won. You can do it too.
You could do it too, and so if you thumbs up, and so
What a surprise!
It made. So that's fine. It's fine that they did that. It's fucking whatever. The fact that they rigged it and shit. That's
Allegedly.
That's allegedly rigged it is unfortunate, as well, to say the least. But the biggest problem for me in this whole thing, and for most people as well, was that they were pawning it off as if they didn't own the website.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit more because I actually know quite a bit about all this.
Hook me up.
Okay, so Phantom Lord got caught through Skype with another guy talking about percentages, like what is the percentage of me winning, so on and so forth.
Which makes
And
it
then the
different
other
from this
dude
one.
on the back end would tell him his percentage, and then he would go big on the bet because he has a higher percentage. He could still lose, but he knows when the best time, allegedly. I mean, the proof was there. Twitch banned him off there, and I think he's in a lawsuit right now against Twitch because I think he's suing. Once again, I don't know for sure, but allegedly he's suing Twitch for hurting his brand because nothing was proven, and they, when they banned him, it obviously makes it look like he's guilty by default, even though the proof was there and it got leaked and everything. All this shit happened.
I allegedly took a shit before this podcast.
Yeah.
Just gonna toss that out
So
there.
with Phantom Lord, it was more about the cheating, but with these other guys, it wasn't so much.
The influencer side
It was
of
the
things.
influence. It wasn't them potentially rigging. That was on the Phantom. I don't think they were ever. Obviously, because of what happened with Phantom, you would think somebody that was just angry or whatever would just assume that they were doing the same thing as Phantom. There is no proof at all showing that they ever did that. But what they were very vague or didn't mention was the fact that they own these websites, that they were the ones that own the websites. They were either paying themselves
guys
or
reached
other
out to me
streamers
or whatever.
Yeah, so like they would know other people in the community, and they would probably pay them an exuberant amount of money to show it off in front of YouTube or Twitch or whatever.
It was like up to 50 grand.
Yeah.
In payoff.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, if you're friends and you're siphoning millions of dollars through it, I mean, for example, if I owned a CSGO website and I was a scumbag that was basically taking advantage of people allegedly, like for real, if I was a scumbag and I was making millions of dollars and
Yeah.
I had you, Adam, and you had a big fan base, and you're my boy, I would just pay you $50K a month just for whatever. I mean, there's millions of dollars. How am I going to siphon all this money through? I would just pay you. You got to clean it up somehow, right? So I would just pay you 50 grand or write you a $200,000 check and say, you know, have fun, do your thing. And then meanwhile, a bunch of people, you'd have influence on people, winning or losing, just having fun and just being there. I mean, that's the whole point. We're called influencers, right? Like when we did our sponsored segment yesterday with Intel, you know, we are working to bring awareness to the brand. And so people that watch us not only want to support us, so if they are going to buy a computer, they're going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to grab an Intel CPU because they support Adam and Jeff, and it's Intel. And so we have influence on people's decisions. Now, they hold all the power. They can decide to buy or not buy. But basically what these guys were doing is they were having an amazing time. It didn't matter if they won or lost. And here's the part that makes it super sketch is even if they weren't cheating, and I don't believe that these guys were, but you never know. Who am I to say? But even if they did know percentages like allegedly Phantom Lord knew and whoever else, who cares? They own the fucking site. So even if they lose skins, it doesn't matter. There's so much coming in all the time.
You're playing in your own casino.
You're playing in your own exactly. You're playing in your own casino. That's a good way of putting it. So that is why they were getting some heat. They've come out and said, well, you know, I've mentioned it on stream from time to time. I've even said it in a video here and there, but it was
post-mortem. I put it in a description for the video.
There was no evidence of this. They didn't go back and show moments and where they would say it. You would think in the description.
The way they phrased it, and this was Team Martin specifically. He's just like, oh, this site reached out to me and, you know, it looks pretty cool, so I'm doing some work with them. And then he pitched the whole thing. And then people didn't know if there was a disclaimer or not. But after it became a thing, the disclaimers were on all the videos all of a sudden.
Well, yeah. So, what happened is when the heat went down, I think, I don't know, I could be wrong with the time frame, but when Phantom Lord's shit hit the fan.
That was like July last year.
Other stuff popped up. And that was when this Martin guy or whatever went and changed all of his descriptions and all of his videos. Like he went rogue and changed everything because he realized like, oh, they're onto us. Like, you know, listen, if they own the CSGO website or Lotto site or whatever it is, it's all good, man. Make your money. Ain't nobody faulting you for what you're doing, right? I mean, by all means. But you gotta be honest with people and say, especially when you're gambling, because that's what it is. It's a gambling website. And you're going to be gambling on your own tables, essentially. You have to tell people that, hey, for one, gambling is an addictive thing, and there can be a problem here because you're marketing to teens, essentially kids, right, that don't know right from wrong. Some may do, of course, and once again, it's their own decision. But this is gambling, and then on top of that, I own the site, and I'm gambling for your entertainment. And I'm only going to upload the really awesome things that happen or the really bad things that happen for views. And it doesn't really matter because I own everything anyway that's coming in. I'm getting a piece of everything that's coming in anyway. So even if he does lose a $4,000 or $5,000 spin, I mean, the amount of money in the run of a day, I can't even imagine.
Ridiculous
so
amounts.
It's just a lot of rich people got very rich. And they got away with murder, obviously, because it's the internet and it's nothing sanctioned. I'm just happy we don't see it as much. I'm happy we don't see it as much on Twitch. The sites are still going. They're still making millions of dollars. So, you know, good on them for making their money. But if they done anything, you know, illegal or gray area, then I guess they kind of have to live with that. I know I couldn't steal from my community and feel good about it. You know what I mean? Like there's a line, you know, I've taken deals that I was like, I don't really like this all that much, but the money's so good, I can't say no, you know, and that's about as far as I would push my moral compass to go and steal from kids, essentially, while you're making millions. I mean, you already, and the vast majority of these guys, they're already millionaires anyway. They've already made so much money even before these sites.
The apology video with the dog in the mansion
They've
in front of the driveway.
already made their millions. So why?
Just an empty fucking house, and let me be sincere, because I'm holding a puppy.
Yeah, you know.
That was just like.
But it is what it is. I'm not gonna hate. You know, we don't know.
Am.
Okay.
I'm not being impartial on this one. I'll say allegedly all fucking day, just because, you know,
well, it's
for
true,
whatever.
Because I don't want to point
shit.
fingers when I don't know the full story. But when you start to piece things together, you can kind of realize who these people are and how they operate and shit like that.
I don't think you have to be fucking Sherlock Holmes to be able to piece some of this shit together. and like, it's so allegedly across everything, you know, to be said here until it's proven otherwise, I guess. But the moment that dog fucking video went up, it was so blatantly fucking obvious that it just, like...
It looked like Chris Brown after he was done beating Rihanna, and then he went on news and he was wearing like a fucking tie and a...
Rihanna shows up all bloodied and shit. Nah, I didn't do it, man. She fell down the stairs. It was terrible. Her face blocked everything on the way down. It was awful. I'm so sorry. And you're sitting there going, okay, yeah, well... The dog helps. I believe you, because you're holding a dog. You know, if you own a dog and you can take care of an animal, that means that you have to be a good person.
It's a PR thing. That's what it is.
The house is like fucking empty. There's like nothing in it.
That's because
like,
what they do is either they buy big mansions and they have a bunch of people staying there, or they just rent out mansions on the West Coast. They have a whole bunch of YouTubers and shit that go together and they make millions of dollars, and they sex in every fucking thing that's walking up and down the streets, and they're driving their supercars, and they're just living the West Coast life, man. And that's just how they roll out there, dude.
It's whatever that they did, whatever they did or allegedly did or whatever the fuck. I'm more upset with the FTC for basically being a pussified bunch of retards. I can't grasp how, for longer than this thing has been going on, we have, as YouTubers and online content creators, been forced to label when anything is advertisement related or any connections to any company for any monetary gain whatsoever. This has been going on longer than this case has. And the FTC friggin' put that into place. And now this comes up after the fact, and they get a get out of jail free card and say, but if you do it, literally, if you do it again, we're going to fine you $40,000. And everyone there went, okay, sure. If you catch us, fuck it. Why would we care?
40 grand?
40 grand.
I mean, go ahead and find me the 40
grand.
Go ahead and find me the 40, dude. I made that 3 days on CS Lotto spins. Who cares?
Yeah, the fine was the part that annoyed me, because it should have been more. But that being said, they do have a lot of other enforcement pieces in there, which really suck for those guys, because for the next 10 to 15 years, they're kind of hosed. Not indirectly, because they have to now have their lawyers on retainer for those 10 years at least.
You don't think these guys got?
They have high-powered attorneys,
lawyers on retainer.
But it's going to be more expensive now, because they've got to retain so many more records, and they have to be thorough about that.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, but the nicer part of it is, if they actually did do anything wrong, whatever, they have to do it for all of their businesses, not just this. So if they start anything new, anything whatever, even non-related to CSGO, if their name is on like a document that they own it, whatever, they have to report fully everything, like really heavily. So that part of the FTC thing, I'm cool with. That's important. But yeah, they should have been hit with like some fine.
I mean, you should be doing
whatever.
that stuff with your business regardless. I mean, you know, that's not a penalty. It's more of like, hey, dude, you're running corporations here. You know, file your shit properly, like the rest of the world.
That part is not just the normal business records. This includes any time they produce a video or anything. They have to prove compliance, that they have all of their disclosures and everything in place from launch, including when and where they do it.
I mean, it's great that that's there. I guess that's like a thorn in their side. How big that thorn is debatable.
I'm glad they had at least that part, but yeah, the fine should have been some percentage of whatever they made.
Well, that's what, like, yeah, a percentage of whatever they made over the course of the
infringement
period.
period.
Well, the thing is they can't.
Period, yeah.
The problem is they can't find them because they can't prove anything, right? That's the problem. And now, since they have all these rules in place, that now they will find them, and anyone else that is trying to.
Well, what do you mean?
This.
The rules were already in place.
Well,
like I said, we've already had to disclose all this shit by the FTC standards for longer than this entire case has been going on.
Yeah. Well, the thing is they haven't. Ever the damage has been done. I mean,
this is the first one that sets the precedent for YouTubers and this type of stuff.
Yeah, like what are they going to do now? I mean, there is no proof of anything. Now the Phantom Lord thing's a little different, but with these guys, I mean, where's the proof that they weren't open at some point about their thing? Are they in every single video? Or are they supposed to go, we own this site? This is I know actually, I understand that now. I understand that now, but where's the proof of it before that they didn't have it in the description, that they weren't, that it wasn't said in some way or whatever? I mean, there's just no way.
Now they have they actually have to physically say it at the same time as having text on the screen. And it's got to be at the same volume, not faster, not slower. It's got to be. I was reading some of the terms. I was like actually laughing. I'm like, all right, so you can't do that whole pharmacy thing at the end where they like list off all the side effects super fast. Yeah, no, that's like you must say it at the same volume level that's completely audible and understandable by the normal layman.
Hey man, they got away with it, dude. They made a bunch of money and they got away with it. They got away with it.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I mean,
it just drives me nuts. I can guarantee you. Watch, this is gonna happen again. Same fucking outcome. Watch, it'll happen. It's America. This is like the cycle. A bunch of dudes build something up. They skirt around rules, and nobody ever fucking gets anything but a slap on the wrist.
Lawyers, I mean, you can pretty much get out of anything.
Exactly, which is just so unsatisfying. It's like one of those things now you have to like rely on just Mother Nature to take its course, to get reconciliation.
Hope that the world just corrects itself.
Just corrects itself.
But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. You know. I guess we've talked enough about these guys and their gambling sites, but
fuck them.
Make your money, man, but just try and do it in a way that at least you're open. I mean, it's not hard just to tell people that you own the site and go ahead and make your money. No one's accusing you of stealing. Just go ahead and do your thing.
Fuck them. I got no respect for them.
I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying not to be
cool,
bro.
Well, that's cool. No, and I appreciate your ability to remain cool. Personally, fuck them. Just personally, fuck them. They did stuff. They did it knowingly. They know what they did. Then when they covered it up, they continued to know that they were covering up what they were doing, and they abused the system from top to bottom and their demographic from top to bottom through the entire process. So it's not even about go make your money and you do you, boo boo. It's go fuck yourself and you do somebody else, because it's just whatever you're doing right now.
You get done by someone else.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
it's gonna bite you in the ass eventually. PUBG. Hey, we seem to talk about this thing every week, but they just keep pumping out the jams. So PUBG, I just saw this tweet today. They have successfully crossed 1 million active players on Steam concurrent.
That's insane.
Which was at the time like what 300,000 above Dota 2 or something, which is the second place. That's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. That means that 1 in 10 people that own that game were playing it at the time, all at the same time.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's insane.
So props to them for that, I guess. I'm interested to see how long this trend goes.
Yeah,
like where's the peak, right? Like where does that top out? Because as of right now, it just seems to be like exponentially growing.
I think on their really first like really big tournament, like a huge, it's coming, like a really massive tournament. I think that'll be the peak. But I can see Player Unknown having a concurrent million for quite a while, off and on. Like it'll dip down, obviously depending on time of day.
Course.
But this game seems like it's got its foot in the ground and it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, H1Z1 is still doing relatively well. And considering how big PUBG is, I mean, that'll tell you alone the staying power of these games. I think Twitch is starting to move in a little bit of a different direction. It is nice to see League of Legends go down the list for once and have some competition.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think their PUBG is taking viewers, substantial amount of viewers from League of Legends.
I agree.
And players from League of Legends are playing PUBG. And it goes to show that a lot of people are not just into MOBAs. They just want to play a game that's fun, that with other people or another team-based game. And it is a beautiful thing to see, because it was getting pretty tiresome seeing League of Legends at the very top for the last 3 years.
On top of that, they're adding fog is coming up in the next patch. I'm sure that's going to
go swimmingly with graphic settings.
Just absolutely cripple anyone not running a god-level computer, because the game is optimized about as well as a Ford Pinto. But that's on top of bug fixes, and apparently this is the last update before they're slowing down to focus on bugs, thank God. So, the one thing I'm sad about here is that doesn't include vaulting. Where the shit is vaulting? Give it to me,
It's going to be a
please.
while for that one. They've literally been doing the animation work for it, meaning it's going to be a good ways away before they actually get that in the game.
Oh my God, I desperately need that. It's just so infuriating. You look down at the ground and there is, no joke, a pebble. Like a small stone that you could skip across water if you wanted to. And you're wondering, why am I not able to get over here? And you're jumping, and if you don't have a running start to jump over anything short of a piece of grass, you're not moving forward to save your life. So that vaulting desperately needs to be worked in. And just the movement in general.
So you don't have a 37-inch vertical leap?
I don't. No. I need to get on that 2-time level of vertical leap. I need to get on that. I have a question for you guys. Why hasn't a major publisher, after the success, before PUBG, there were a couple of players in this market. Every time one cropped up, it became the new, bigger one than the one before it. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. Can somebody explain to me why a major developer has not just said, there is a money pit
You
so
do realize
big,
that Rockstar is making their own version of Battle Royale.
but are they making a separate game, or they're just dicking around with GTA 5?
I think they're starting in GTA 5. They're probably going to turn it into a spin-off at some point.
But I feel like it's too late now. Like, now you have...
If
unless they
Rockstar comes out and says they're making one, it's going to knock people on
but
their
they're
ass.
still going to have... Yeah, but I don't think people playing PUBG give a fuck about Rockstar. I don't think many people in general fucking care about Rockstar anymore, to be honest with you. They've lost a lot of goodwill in the last 365 days, and people just associate Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto. So there will be interest for it, to be sure, but they're going to have to do a really good job now because of PUBG's success. They're going to have to smash it. Before, they didn't have to smash it that hard because all the games that were out were just like PUBG, stitched together with hopes and dreams and barely fucking running. And now this is out, and yeah, it's still stitched together with hopes and dreams and barely fucking running, but it's so big, it's reached critical mass, and they're going to have to do a lot better than they would have before. But yeah, I've always been confused as to why we haven't seen anyone.
Well, I don't think it's worth it for them to get into it. I think it's risky. It's not their space. It's just, not saying it can't be, but I feel like PUBG is like a perfect storm. And I feel like there'll be other games that'll come out, but they'll be indie, and they'll take over PUBG eventually. But I think what's going to happen is you got to kind of let PUBG run its course, kind of like how H1Z1 had to run its course. It was dominant, but these games do get repetitive. They do get very tiresome. And even when you're winning, like even when I watch streamers that are constantly winning, the feeling of winning just diminishes every single time. It gets old. It gets same.
That's every competitive game ever.
It is true, but I think after about a year of PUBG being in the spotlight and crushing it, people are going to start getting pissed off with some updates that they make, or maybe they're going to want to try and monetize it a little bit more. Maybe the game is still broken in some way, and people are looking for a reason to jump ship, kind of like how what happened with H1Z1. And when PUBG came out and they tried it and it was cool and they did what H1Z1 did, but better, everybody hopped and jumped ship. It's only going to be a matter of time. I don't think anybody should go up against it right now. They're a juggernaut like League of Legends in the MOBA space. If you're new and you're up and coming, you're just going to get crushed. You got to kind of let it go, let the storm go.
Absolutely.
And then
second has passed. Like you're slow.
Yeah. But I think in about a year, people will be open to trying a new game again. And if they do something better than PUBG, then I think it's got a chance to blow up. It's all about the streamers. That's what blew this game up. Is streamers. That's it. I mean, if there's no such thing as Twitch, there's no PUBG.
In this space, that's what does it. And competitive games live and die by Twitch right now.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
Yep.
If it's not a competitive game, it doesn't necessarily require Twitch. It's a nice bonus if they can pay, Lyric $50,000 to play the game for like 3 fucking hours and put it in front of a couple million people. Then that's whatever. But competitive games live and die on Twitch.
Yep.
And PUBG is obviously no different. I don't understand, because there are other genres that have been flooded, not by like small players, but major players. And it hasn't stopped anyone from jumping into that market regardless. Like card games, for example. Hearthstone became popular, and it's not like Blizzard is some small Korean company making a game by proxy for some dude in America, this fucking Blizzard.
Yeah.
And then everyone on the planet has been cranking card games out for every title that has ever been made since we've been children. And it's still continuing. In fact, the next topic we're going to be going on about here coming up is that Magic the Gathering is throwing their hat back in the arena again.
And so this literally.
Yeah, so I'm confused as to why, prior to, and I agree with you that right now, obviously, it would be suicide to go up against PUBG, but I mean, previously to this, I can't fathom, people say risk, but I mean, what risk is there? This is
it's just not how they operate, man. It's kind of like Nintendo, where you're going, why in the fuck don't they just stock the shelves? Like, why do they keep doing this? I think it's just a matter of the business. I think they're, shareholder issues, risk issues. You don't want
inventory laying on shelves.
And also, even if you have a company like Rockstar, where you go, Rockstar puts out a beta version of a PUBG, right? And they call it GTA Arena. I don't know. All right. And
it's fire name, Jeff.
Yeah. So they call it or Red Dead Arena or whatever, right? Which I think would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty baller with horses.
Yeah.
And shit.
So they call it Red Dead Arena, and it's in beta, and people are playing the game, and it's all broken to fuck, right? It's like it's like a PUBG when they started out. That really diminishes the look of the company, and it's hard for mega companies like that to associate themselves with a discounted or a lesser standard of a game. And the only way that these games grow and blossom is from start to finish, where you put out the bare bones and you get feedback and you add things, you keep that hype going, you bring in new people, you pay a few streamers, you sell some more, then you add this thing, you get headlines again, and you sell some more, and then you play a while, it drops down a bit, and then you headline a new update, and it comes out. Those are the type of things that these games need. The consumer needs to feel like they're part of the growth. They need to be attached to it like a child. They need to watch it grow, watch it blossom, and they want to feel like they've been part of that. They want to have that ownership, that entitlement, that hipster type feel. Like, I discovered that IPA before it was even a big one, or I discovered that band before they blew up. That's just the mentality of it. And I think if Rockstar comes and makes something like that, or Blizzard, or any of these big companies, they're going to have to diminish the quality of games that they put out now, whatever you consider quality. But if they come
I
out,
was gonna
I
say some of
know.
these
But you
companies-
know what I'm saying? There's this level, and I feel like
I get what you're
when
saying.
they go
yeah.
into that space, it dumbs it down. It was like when I went into Porsche to look at a car, and I go, "Hey, can I get a discount on this? Because I'm looking at another thing." They go, "We don't do discounts." Well, what do you mean you don't do discounts? Well, because it lowers. We're not a discount company. We don't lower our standards. Like either you can afford this or you can't
No,
afford
it's a
this,
luxury
right?
product. It's why they never go on sale. It's just the
Exactly.
way it
So
is.
I think it's sort of the same mentality of these mega companies where, listen, in their eyes, they go, oh, you know, you've got 1 million concurrent, which is nothing to scoff about at all. I mean, that is huge. Those are huge numbers. But that's just one and a whole bajillion amount. And I think what the AAA guys are going is saying, let them have their little victories here. Wait till GTA 6 comes out. You know, we've got bigger fish to fry. Let the indies do their indies, and let us, you know, really sell
later.
title. We'll destroy them. I think that's the way to. I could be wrong. If you have a different point, I'd love to hear it, but I think that's what it is, honestly. And it's just risky. You also get and you can also get outsold by fucking PUBG. Can you imagine if Grand Theft Auto came out with their own version and it wasn't as good? Maybe graphically it looks great. You know, it's wonderful. It's available on all platforms and great. But what happens if it doesn't sell good? What happens if it's only got 50,000 concurrent? And yet PUBG's got 1 million. How does that look? You're gonna get taken out by a fucking by this not even a small company now, but in terms of, you know, size here, you got.
Well, again, now
Damn.
I mean, again, this is all on the back of people coming out with something to go up against PUBG. I mean, my whole thing has
Just
been
the space
previous
in
to
general.
PUBG. You know and the reason why I say that is because, like I mentioned before, everyone that's come out, every iteration from a different company that's come out has been slightly better than the one that's come before it in some way to draw pretty much the majority of players into this new game and bring in new players. But they're always, I mean, I think it'd be silly to say that PUBG is anything but pretty fucking busted. So, and now it's not because they don't have money anymore, and sure they're going to do it, but the thing is, obviously, the company that's making the game is not a high-end developer.
No.
They've got all this money, but the money isn't going to suddenly make the developer
Better.
1 million times better.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the catch-22 for them. Previous to PUBG, there was definitely a market space there. When it comes to risk, any new IP, regardless of genre, carries risk. There is obviously a risk level associated with various genres at any given time. First-person shooters are like the lowest risk on the market, bar none. And then you know, My Little Pony Island Adventures is on the other end of the spectrum. That's kind of a stupid idea. Maybe not do that one. Yeah. But when it comes to this, where you have this is for now both third and first-person shooter. Step one, that's a pretty good start. Most people are interested in that space. That's pretty easy. It's a proven concept in a test bed in the tune of hundreds of thousands and actually probably millions of people that have bought these games leading up to PUBG's release. Any company, I'm not saying that like let's when I say major publisher, I don't mean necessarily that Rockstar puts their flagship development team on top of it.
Yeah.
Major publishers like Take-Two, well, I should say Rockstar is a developer, but like Take-Two or EA or
Ubisoft.
Bethesda, you know, even Microsoft's in-house, they all own a varying selection of developers that
A,
are
B,
good
C,
at
D
different
tiered studios
yeah,
to do
except
different
tiers. Almost any tier under any of those publishers, almost any of them are likely to be better than, no offense to PUBG's developer.
Yeah.
PUBG's developer.
Yeah, okay, well here's the thing. I don't think like you're the type of guy
I think you're bashing on Bluehole a bit more than you should be.
And I heard you know yesterday when we did the Intel bit and afterwards. I mean you go on rants about how the game is developed in terms of playability, like just stupid glitches and dumb shit that just shouldn't happen. You know, shoot somebody point blank and all this other stuff. And we also got into a heated argument a few weeks back where we talked about the different successes of what it takes to be a streamer and what works for certain people. Like we said before, I'm the guy that doesn't really care all that much about audio levels, doesn't really care too much about getting to know a game before I play it. I'll just jump right in.
I see where you're going with this already.
Exactly.
I understand.
And you're more of the technical side. Now, just because these other AAA title publishers can make a better game mechanically, it doesn't mean, and in fact, most times, and I think we can probably both agree on this, most times they're not as in tuned with actually creating a fun game, like just gameplay wise, like just a game that hooks people in, that creates buzz, that people just want to share, that doing highlights on and all this other stuff. They know one thing only: money. They need to make money. And so the way that they approach things is differently than the way an indie developer approaches things. Now, also, indie developers can make shitty games too. I mean, they can fall flat on their face. But when there are gems, when there are special games, you can look past the mistakes that these people that are creating the games make, whether it's going through a wall or loading up and you can see through shit or whatever. They're annoyances. But at the end of the day,
forget that Sony dove into this too, and they made H1Z1. Like, Sony was the backer behind that, and their game was a much bigger pile of garbage than what PUBG is right now.
Yeah,
you know?
So like the thing is, it's you don't go to McDonald's and complain that your burger doesn't look like it looked on the menu. You go to McDonald's because it makes you feel good. You know it's bad for you. You know it's going to make you feel sick in the morning. You know you're going to complain about it. And that's the way that a game like PUBG is. You know you're going to spend your early access. You know you're going to bitch that it's early access. You know that you're going to fucking shoot somebody in the head and it isn't going to register sometimes. You know that there's going to be lag spikes. But you know what? It makes you feel good. And at those moments that in time where you're playing the game and you run over a few people, like the clip that you showed me, and it puts that smile on your face, or you get that chicken dinner, you forget about all the bullshit in that moment. And it doesn't really matter anymore. So PUBG is, of course, it's the McDonald's of video games, where it is easy to get to.
White Castle.
Everyone is playing it. Everyone is eating it. Everyone's consuming it. Everyone knows it's not the greatest thing, but yet everybody doesn't give a fuck. They don't care.
I'm not arguing that at all. I mean, most of the most popular games that have ever come up in spurts have been the most broken ass games imaginable, because from a viewership standpoint on Twitch, that's what makes funny shit for the viewers.
But what I was
right?
saying is, you were saying, well, why isn't it that they don't go into the space because they can make a better game? I mean, even if it was their B or C list developers, they could make a more cohesive game. It's
not necessarily that I'm saying why don't they enter the space just because they can make a better game. That's part of it, and I think that's there is a really huge probability that the game would be fundamentally better built. For sure. I'm saying that there was possibly, inarguably, a vacuum there to be filled for there to be money made, more so than other games that the major publishers have put out on in the last year or two. That's just what I'm saying, is that it's just been not like shocking or some shit, but it was weird to me that it wasn't, because all these major developers are fighting in these super saturated spaces, you know, these, and then a hole like this opens up, and I was just kind of surprised that nobody took it. I'm aware that just because a game is fundamentally built better doesn't necessarily make it more successful, or that it will be more successful, or make more money, or whatever. That wasn't my argument at all. I was just saying I'm surprised that nobody took it up, because unless they really fucked up, and I mean they would have had to do some crazy shit to mess it up. it was going to break even, which at the end of the day, if you go to the stakeholders and the shareholders and say, here's our project, we are projected to get into the gray, everyone goes,
have fun.
Have fun, as long as you break even.
Well, you never know,
So,
Adam. You never know.
yeah.
Now that we're seeing these big headlines and the big success
I'm sure it will
of this,
happen.
maybe we will see it happen. Maybe
But like
maybe
you
it is
said, it's
being
gonna
in
have to
development
be-
now. We just don't know, right?
Like you said, it's going to have to, and I mean, coincidentally, it's not like they can just press a button
No.
and boom, the game is here. So, conveniently, while PUBG is super popular right now, there are probably a couple of variations from people coming up that will launch after the majority of this crazy PUBG phenomena has kind of subsided a bit, and then give them a better chance at going toe-to-toe. Because right now, oh, yeah, God, yeah, it'd be suicide.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a good look at all.
No, it'd be bad. Not only would people be like chirping you for biting, PUBG's whole thing, but just the sheer number of people playing PUBG, nobody's gonna want to move somewhere else. It'd just be silly.
Then again,
So,
you could pay Summit, Dr. Disrespect, Lyric a lot of money and say play this for a month.
But would that come off bad for Doc? Like the Doc? Like would that come off? Like I could see
COD
Lyric
before,
can do.
so
I don't.
like he
I don't.
Yeah, like
transitioned.
Lyric.
I don't think it's
Lyric
gonna
can
look
do
bad.
whatever he wants.
Dude, the guy's got an epic mustache and a fucking insane mullet and crazy ass antics.
6'8".
People
The
aren't
best a
there.
man can get, man.
37-inch vertical leap.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit what game that guy's playing. As long as he's streaming, that's it. That's the show.
1993,
Yeah.
1994, back-to-back blockbuster video game champion. This guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, he's a god. And so I think that this one space, one space can be one where you could actually buy yourself into the market. At a lot of other spaces, it does not
You
work.
can't do that.
You can't do it.
No.
But in this one specifically, because of the influence of these Twitch streamers and how they make it so much fun with just over the top antics and crazy highlights and shooting people and YouTube viral videos and all this other smoke and mirrors that go along with the whole thing. I feel like a company, whether it's a AAA or another indie, if they have the capital, they could buy their way in. That maybe not buy their way to the number one spot, but they can most certainly buy their way in and get a big return on investment just from paying streamers.
Do you think not to like drag this on forever, but the other topics are pretty quick, so I'm trying to get as much out of this as possible. Do you guys think that some of this is because, as weird as this might sound, that some of the major publishers and perhaps even the developers just flat out haven't quite figured out Twitch culture yet? Or the new live streaming, the content creation culture that exists?
I think that's a big
Do you think
part.
that's
I think
part of
it's
the
a-
problem?
I think
That's
it's a big part of
100%
it.
dead on correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at again. We were talking about this on Twitter a bit earlier, but like, look at Ubisoft for example with For Honor.
Yeah.
They fucked that shit up royally, and that game is dead as a doornail.
Well, they
on
tried
Steam.
to buy their way in, and
they tried.
and then once
didn't
people
understand
stopped
it.
paying them, they stopped playing the
It
game.
just ended.
You know what? That is a big thing, and I still see it. Like when I go to the movie theater,
It's a hard thing to understand.
and I was there when I was there yesterday watching it. On the pre-show, they had a preview for I think it was actually Counter-Strike. Yeah, it was. It was Counter-Strike, where you can go into the theater and watch CSGO on the big
tournaments or
screen and
something?
things. A lot of these, and what I'm trying to say with that is, a lot of these AAA title guys, they're still stuck in 2011, where they think it's more about events, in an actual facility.
Venue. Yeah.
That and a $100,000 prize or whatever is the big shebang, right? They think it's bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't know why. I don't know why these now it's not everybody, but I don't know why they haven't hired on people that are in tune with the industry now. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of these big companies take a while to catch up. Because typically when they're in development for something, it's years before where you're actually. So by the time a game is done, this industry with Twitch and everything is moving so fast that whatever they produced is now outdated. Someone's already come up with something better. They've missed their mark. They what was cool, which would have worked at the time that they were developing it, is no longer relevant. And so they're way behind. So I agree. That is a huge, huge part of the problem. Massive. I mean, why isn't Call of Duty, why isn't Halo a big game on Twitch? Why isn't Call of Duty? Now, Call of Duty does have a following depending on the event and stuff like that. But why isn't Activision besides Blizzard, and it's the Blizzard side of things that is the reason why Activision has their name on anything related on Twitch that has any type of relevancy? Well, why don't we see anything bigger? I mean, you even look at Epic that has Paragon and another game, another sandbox-like game that they just announced. Fortnite, yeah, which looks cool. Why aren't they caught up with the times? Even they're lagging behind.
The old school. Well, Epic's kind of like one of the old school developers. Like, I mean, Unreal Tournament, and then the Unreal Engine. They do that stuff. They're old school. They're tech. Yeah. They do the tech development. You know, they don't care as much about it because everyone else will just make their games using Epic stuff. Mm-hmm. And Epic, that's where Epic makes their money.
That's where they make their money, off their engines.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think for Epic doesn't matter much. But yeah, like, Microsoft hasn't understood it for a long time. They're starting to now. Activision, same, exactly what you said. Sony, surprisingly, they understood it really well, but they still fuck it up. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, they tried with H1Z1 and they delivered a shitty game, which surprised me because they delivered PlanetSide, which is like one of the largest, massive, like multi-user shooters in existence, and it's still running and it's still doing well. Yet somehow H1Z1 was just a steaming pile of trash, especially on the netcode, which is something you would think a massive studio like Sony would get right. And that's
it's a mixture.
And that's where PUBG is suffering. Like, they don't have, their network skills are trash. The game itself is put together pretty well. It's got a lot of really redeeming features, but you would think that the bigger studios, if they get the culture, they're set. But they're taking too long on the culture. So you've got the smaller companies like Blue Hole and these other guys coming in and being like, you know what? I get the memeing. I get the Twitch chat. I understand what they're looking for, and I can give them a platform to have those moments. And then they just put out their early access game, and then they make a killing.
Yeah, I want to say that just like with a lot of companies that have to deal in this kind of space, is that the moment that you're unwilling to bring in fresh blood into the company to do the to inform those who are over the age of 40 as to what is actually going on, then you fall behind really, really quickly.
You're gonna regret that line in like 10 years, Adam.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm not saying replace the people in the company with younger people, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to try and enter a space like Sony in with H1Z1 or whatever, and you understand that that a lot of it is going to be, based on how well it does on Twitch, then you have to assume that you need to do some due diligence and bring in people from the Twitch community and say, okay, fucking teach me what's going on here. Tell me what's going on here. Help me understand. Or just field it in front of them. Put it in front of them before they do anything. Just be like, hey, does this seem like something that would actually work? Just take a friggin' stab at it.
See, that's what you should be doing, Adam. You should be the guy that is knocking on doors and getting into offices with people and telling them what they're doing wrong and how you're an asset to make them better and in the most respectful manner that you can, because companies do need people that have an inside look and that have lived it and knows what it is. And I think there's a shit ton of money that somebody's going to come in there and they're going to change a company flat out, and they're going to turn millions and millions and millions of dollars, all just because they listened to a young gun that came in and was in tune with how things are going. Blizzard does that. I mean, there are people that work for Blizzard that are literally all they do is they're just community based. That's it. They follow the the influencers within the communities. They know everything. They hang out in stream chats. They go to events. They take them to nice dinners. They
get the pulse.
That's it. That's what they do. And it's not until these companies get in tune with that. Not saying they're not going to be successful, but they're always going to be looking. They're going to be window shopping. They're going to be looking from the outside, going, yeah, oh, that looks nice. Yep. No, but I'm not going in. I'm not
going for it.
I'm not going in. But they need guys like you, Adam, that's going to go, no, come in, just try it on. Just try it on. You know, take a selfie, put it on Instagram, see how many likes you get, think it over. It's not going to hurt you to try it on. If you don't like it, put it right back on the shelf and go, just keep walking,
It's So I think that's definitely that's bang on. I just wish that and I'm hard on PUBG like anything else because I like it a lot, right? Like I enjoy the game. I've played it like 90 hours since I started playing it. So I do enjoy it a lot, and so I'm harder on it because of it. I'm so ready for the bug fixes. I'm so ready. I'm just so ready. I don't want to land on the ground and all of a sudden nothing loads in anymore. That just way too often does that happen. Just all the little small stuff that just drives you, batty when you play it that often. But I do. I think it's a great game. I don't think it's any bit of luck that it's doing as well as that it is doing. I'm excited for this update. I'm excited to see my computer cry trying to render fog. Because that's probably going to be a complete gong show when it happens. And if not, even better. Fantastic. There's a new gun coming too, which is
the Micro 14 or the Mini 14 or something.
Yeah, it's another 5.56 round gun thing. I don't know if it's a box drop or if it's just a regular ass gun, but hey, more guns. Those are always good. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll talk about more as it comes up. Moving on. We had a segue a while ago. I'm gonna finally update the topic text.
We're gonna segue back to it.
Yeah. So Magic the Gathering is a game that's been around for a while. It's been around the block a few times. Some people may have heard of it before. They're trying their. I'm gonna defer to Panic on this one, but I guess they are trying their hand at the computer, card game, market again, because they've done it before.
With Magic the Gathering
even
online.
more than once.
Yeah, they've done it 2 or 3 times.
And so now they're trying it again, and I guess it's going to be called Arena. So, Mr. Panic, get us the lowdown on what's going on here and why I need to be excited about the fact that Magic is trying to be hip and cool.
I don't know if you should be excited, but they might have actually gotten one of those magical people that Jeff was talking about and brought them in. They might have. The whole thing with Magic is it's the granddaddy of all collectible card games, pretty much. Like it's the elephant in the room. It's very well done. It's very polished. It's a complex game, but you can get into it pretty easily. But it's always had difficulty breaking into the online portion. Just that it's not easy to watch. It's not fun to watch. So they pretty much said, look, MTG Online, what we already have, that's not going anywhere. That's going to stay as is. That's actually one of the best online repositories of all the cards that have ever been printed in existence. That's staying as is for the people who want the more classic experience. They're saying now for MTG Arena, we want to make this thing watchable. We want the excitement. And they use the words Twitch in their releases. They're like,
holy
we want
shit.
the Twitch experience to be good. We want want the exciting gameplay that you see in other collectible card games, because they said our game is better, technically and mechanically than all these other ones out there. We know this for fact, and a lot of people do too.
Everybody knows that for a fact, yeah.
And they're like, but our online presence for this hasn't been great. So this is what our focus is for this. But then they came out and said, look, the way this is working is, this is going to include all the cards in the current standard version of play. Plus, they're going to do 1,000 cards a year from all the new sets coming in. And they're going to try to keep it up to date with card sets that are already out. And the big thing, and this is the one that got me excited when I was reading about it, was they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, the reason this took so long is we've been working on machine learning so that the game engine can read all the new cards we've put out and generate the rules for the game to just be able to work with them." So whenever they come up with new cards, whenever they
somebody in marketing, when you said machine learning, just had an orgasm panic. Somebody
but pretty much
just,
they said, look, we make all the cards and we already have the cards made. They didn't want to have someone go in and program them all the time. So they've come up with a way to kind of programmatically do a lot of that part. So whenever the rule designers and whoever make the card, it can much more easily be ported into the game. So they can keep it up to date, because these card sets come out pretty quickly nowadays. Wizards has been really good about that. So they kind of wanted to, they pretty much said, look, this will give you a solid online experience that you can watch on Twitch. You'll get the excitement, you'll get all that fun stuff. But at the same time, you still get the Magic experience. Now, what I'm curious about, and which I don't think they've given much info on, because again, this is still like very under wraps for a lot of the stuff, is how the card collection and stuff works. It's a free-to-play game. So I'm assuming it's going to be like Hearthstone card packs, and how does that
course.
work? Yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
So, that's, and again, I'm more interested in what this is going to do for things like Hearthstone. This could be the one that would, this one might make what Dota's doing dead on arrival. Because, if it's going to be Dota versus because someone's going to pick card games versus like Artifact or Magic, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick Magic because that's like the established brand. But,
I think when Magic comes out,
it's going to be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I'll be interested in it as long as it keeps its integrity intact with how complicated the game can be and how much more it will be. It would be the Dota of card games, right? Where there'll be the elitists that'll play it. It'll do well. It won't be as big as Hearthstone, but it would do very well. I'm interested to hear where this goes.
My concern is how expensive it's going to be, because Magic is flat out the most expensive card game to play on the planet. It's
what
not
about
even
Pokemon?
Close. No. Magic is still more expensive. There's just it's not even close. A playable Magic deck, unless you're building some real basic bit shit, is constantly
evolving.
Not only is it expensive one-off, but then if you want to keep playing and keep relevant, you're buying a new deck. You said yourself, it's the cycle is fierce. The shit comes out all the damn time. I got a next door neighbor that's deep into it, and they're just hemorrhaging money, keeping up with Magic decks.
I think that'd be so cool, though. I think that's very, very dope. Even if it is expensive, which I don't think it will be. I think the packs will be sort of right in the same realm as.
They'll know their numbers.
I mean, it's a little different from actually having physical printed cards and having digital cards. The digital cards, maybe they have individual value. I don't know. Maybe they all don't have value at all. They are all valued at the same, just different rarity when you pull the cards. I think it's great if they're gonna come out with 1,000 cards a year or some shit.
I'm down.
That would be amazing. Like, that's one thing that's shitty about Hearthstone. Is there isn't enough cards coming out, and the decks become very, very monotonous after a while. It's the same thing.
That was my biggest complaint when it came out. I'm like, because it goes down to like game design, like collectible card games. Part of the reason why they work so well is you're supposed to have like a huge selection of cards that you could play. That's what makes it just statistically, like I'm talking mathematically, complex to play the game, because it makes it so that you're playing your opponent because your opponent had to build the deck. And
it's also just fresh to just see new cards all the time, and just seeing people do things that you never really normally see and play things a certain way that it just
Hearthstone is you see the same decks over and over. You get top, the decks are too small. You get
it comes down. It comes down to who's gonna pull what first. Like it's the RNG of it, and obviously there's RNG in every card. It's a card game. I mean, it's a gamble, but at least with Magic, there's different forms of RNG. Like there's many different ways that things can go. Instead of in StarCraft, for example, you're going to see the same openings, and as soon as you see it, you know what they're trying to go, when they're going to go it, and is it going to work or isn't it going to work? What would be nice with Magic is constantly getting new cards. I think that's amazing, and they might even generate more revenue because people are going to want to consistently get the new cards that are out. So 2 thumbs up for
I think
me.
what I'm most interested in out of all this, I mean, I've always wanted to have Magic get into this market and be a thing that maybe I could do on the computer. I have no interest in playing physical cards with Magic because, like I said,
It's too
expensive.
complicated. It takes a while to get into.
I want to see how they try and do the spectating differently, or how they try and tackle it.
How they make it
because
interesting
I think,
to watch.
Exactly, because there's only so much that that you would think that they'd be able to do given the sheer number of cards that they pump out. They can only do so much with how they display actions being taken on the board. So I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm most interested in. I'd love to see it do very well. I'd like to see another competitor out there in the card market. Which I didn't think I'd ever say, but it's Magic.
Yeah.
Magic is already there. It's a thing. It's the card game. It's just that it's never been able to get into this market. So I think if anyone
They
should
didn't
be allowed to
understand
give
the
it a shot.
Twitch market, and I feel like they finally
Yes.
might. They finally might.
We'll see it. We'll see it happen. I think it'll be cool. And they have the ability to say, hey, let's bring in as a launch thing. They'll be like, hey, we're gonna bring in an invitational, people that have won Magic tournaments at various levels, and bring them in and just right off the rip have like this crazy fucking tournament that would be the top players that have probably been playing this game for as long as I've been fucking alive. Some people for sure. So
You want to know what I want to do? I want to see if we can get one of these guys, like once they get closer to launch, if we can get one of them on the show, maybe. That would be pretty
That's
cool
possible.
to talk to them about.
A man can dream.
Yeah, we can dream.
A man can
Aim
dream. Aim high. Aim high. But yeah, so let's cross our fingers for MTG. Hopefully they can make that happen. Also, kind of related to what popped up in that PUBG conversation was the Blizzard. Oh, this is the Blizzard Arena. So when Jeff was saying that people need to start realizing, or companies need to start realizing that it's not always about physical locations and events, Blizzard's doubling down on it. So they're coming out with Blizzard Arena
In Burbank.
Yeah,
Why
so
I'm
it's
not
like
a
their own
billionaire,
place.
man. That's why I'm not a billionaire, dude.
Yeah. So they've opened this to do their events in various events for various games that they do esport things for and whatnot. I think we talked about this when they first announced the idea of it.
They were talking about doing
while back.
something, but they didn't kind of hint that it was going to be like, they didn't make it sound like they were going to build a permanent venue. But effectively, this is exactly what it is. They've built a permanent venue with multiple stages and capacity to store decently sized audiences. But they can effectively now do a lot of their esports production in house because they'll have these multiple sound stages. They can have Overwatch League going at the same time as a Hearthstone Championship, and they can keep that in house in studio, which makes it easier for them to keep talent locally. So there's some benefits to this. They've also mentioned, as I was kind of laughing, he's like, we can have a Blizzard gear store on site that will be active during events for the appropriately themed merchandise. And I'm like,
Oh, of course.
stadium. But I think they pretty much said they're going to do something like this temporarily, but now apparently it's permanent location, because they wanted to show a lot of the people coming in for Overwatch League, hey, this is kind of like the venue you should be building for your Overwatch League franchise in whatever your region is. So that when teams are traveling, they have an arena to go to.
I mean, do we really give a shit about this? I mean, it's cool that it's there. I mean, awesome. It's going to be a great venue so that keeps some consistency in terms of production. But beyond that, does anybody give a shit? Like, are people?
I don't care about the Burbank one, but we have Overwatch stuff coming for New York. If there's an esports venue in New York, I'd be pretty cool. I'd be pretty pumped about that. I'd like to be able to go to an event, on a more regular basis than some like one-off thing. For me, again, that's for me. I like going to these events, and I like that experience.
So do I. But I mean, how many of these things can you really go to? And you're only really servicing the people that live in that city. So unless you're planning to put one in all over the place, which just wouldn't even. Yeah,
well,
I can see one. I can see one going into New York, and I can see one going into California somewhere, and great. I mean, that's
nobody in Minnesota is going to be cranking out a fucking Blizzard Arena.
Oh, yeah. No, they are not.
And the vast majority of people that are going to be watching the shit, even from New York or wherever they're going to stick one, they're still going to just watch it online. It's just, I think it's more of a place, a hub where teams can get together and do the little, whatever. It's like UFC's training facility that they built in Las Vegas, where you can go in and you can see how these athletes work out, and there's those cryo chambers or whatever the fuck those things,
cryotherapy,
yeah, whatever they are, and there's all these different cool looking things. It's like, all right, cool, UFC, this is cool to say you have a big venue and that whatever. It's great for the athletes that want to go there and recover, and this is all fine and dandy, but people are going to watch your pay-per-view. This is it's like a museum. You go to the museum once, you see the shit, it never changes. You're just like, I'm never going back to this museum again, because there's no point unless a friend is in town and we decide I want to take him to the museum and show him how cool
I don't know.
it is.
I kind of disagree because, again, for the current structure, you're right, but Blizzard and others aren't going for the current structure. They're going for a more regular league-based format where teams will travel to each other's regions and do the regional base like the NBA does, like the regular sports leagues do.
Yeah,
so
except in a 2,000 square foot venue.
They'll be larger
with a
than that.
bunch
This
of
one's
sweaty
pretty
nerds
huge.
that stink.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that might not be ideal to start, but for like a starting point, Blizzard Arena is not a bad idea. I don't think.
I don't
think it's
disagree.
a bad idea. I just don't think it's a exciting one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the fact that they're trying to, what you just described, what they're trying to do, and that there has to. If
They want a more regular
goal,
flow
that
of
they're,
it.
Yeah, if that is their goal, that there has to obviously be a starting point.
Yeah.
Everything starts somewhere. Fine. I think it's a bad idea. not the building itself, but the goal that they're working towards via
The
and
physical
starting
team presence of traveling.
with this. That's dumb. They're trying to turn it into a actual sport where the people that the vast majority of people that are into this stuff are going to more likely just want to watch it on their own time, at home, at work, wherever they are. It's nice to think that esports would necessitate a structure like that, and I'm sure that financially at some point they could make it happen, but I don't think just by the nature of the business that it's going to be long-term viable financially to upkeep these places for the number of people that are going to show up for a regular game. Like if you posted every single game that teams were playing on the road to said, Overwatch championship, whatever, right? The Owl League, the Overwatch League, and you're doing like a regular season games on ESPN The Ocho or some shit, coming to you live from California-based Blizzard Studios with 300 people watching, 6 dudes on stage or 12 dudes on stage battling it out. That's a regular. Can you imagine? Regular season sports have a hard time fucking keeping pace. On Twitch alone, if you just throw up like regular season shit, the numbers aren't even all that hot. Can you imagine trying to get actual physical butts in seats around the country for an esport event?
I think it depends on, again, there's a lot of stuff that they don't know and we don't have information-wise for that. There hasn't been a lot of market research, right? If they're doing this as a pilot, and they're not building massive arenas, but they're building decent-sized ones, we'll get a pretty good idea within a year on if it's viable. If they build one in each of the base Overwatch League franchises, as an example, and they do run like a full regular season, right? We'll see. Are they able to fill the seats or not? For me, I think
they're gonna have a skybox. You're gonna give us courtside tickets to go see a bunch of fucking nerds play Overwatch.
I am legitimately curious. I'm legitimately curious if they can make it work. That's why I want this to happen.
Sure.
I want to see what happens.
I can appreciate.
Because I'd like to be able to figure out and say, I want to go watch a game. I just want to see if they can do it.
You know what, man? It's a cool thought, but I think more than anything, this is just it's a nuisance to the players. But at anything, it's only going to make the players feel like more of stars than anything. You're gonna go into an arena. You're gonna have a green room. You're gonna go get a little bit of makeup on there. The cameras flashing, lights are going. You've got 4 rows of seats of the same guys from New York that's there every week cheering you on. You know them by name when you come into the studio, and then you play your games and you bounce. You go on a bus or you go back on a flight, and that's the show. This is not going to up the ratings.
Yeah.
This is gonna influence the amount of people that watch it online. It might look cool to see some fans cheering in the background with some signs, but it isn't gonna help out their bottom end any unless they're charging the maybe 300 people that'll show up to one. It might be a bit more for the first. I have no idea. What are they going to charge? $20 a ticket to get in? Is it going to be free, or is their big thing going to be pushing merch on you? Don't forget to pick up your favorite
jersey,
Blizzard
your
thing
hat,
or
or whatever.
Do that all online. Do that at your PAX. Do that at your TwitchCon. Do that at your BlizzCon. Do that at all those other places. Nobody needs it. It's a cool thing, but man, I'm telling you, it doesn't do anything for them.
All I can think of is baseball. That's all I can think of is baseball right now. And you look at anyone that isn't like a top team in a major city, and you watch a regular season game, and you look out into the stands,
empty,
and you could hear crickets in that fucking arena. And then you're going to apply that same logic to esports at its current size. And with the current, geography of where most of these players and the people that watch it are based. And you're going to try and spread it. No, stop. Back the fun bus up.
It's going to look like a barcraft, man. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like a barcraft.
I do think that a physical location is nice to have for major events, even leading into the road, like the road to, and all teams are in one
major
location.
Qualifiers.
All teams are in one location for like a week or like 2 weeks, and they're in one major arena. And they run the whole thing so that for the people watching at home, then it feels like more of a major event. But if you're gonna try and do a regular season fucking Overwatch game in Delaware, fuck off. That ain't gonna friggin' go anywhere.
No.
Not a chance. So I appreciate the curiosity. I agree. I'm also curious.
I want to see what happens.
I think it's probably not going to amount to a whole lot. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I think Panic goes once and doesn't go again.
I'll remember that next time I take you to a Rangers game, Jeff.
Or the next time I'm in New York, then Panic takes me there.
I'm going to take you to an Overwatch League game instead of a Rangers game.
Yeah,
that's how
I'm going to Rangers every time before any type of esports.
I'd be like, Jeff, you ready for the Rangers game? And then take you to the Overwatch arena. I'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? And then we're going to get the vlog about the most hyped time Jeff ever had.
The last thing on this list before we go to break is Bethesda, who you might all know as the company that is porting Skyrim to your grandmother's heart monitor, is coming out with a surprise game of some sort in like next year, I guess, or something.
In 2017. I was so confused. I'm like, what is going on here?
Okay, so speculation, guys. What is it? What are we?
I feel like it's going to be something like Fallout Shelter, for some franchise. Like I don't know what it would be. But I'm just like, why the fuck are you telling us this now? This is something you should have brought out after your E3 event flopped horribly. You've been like, guys, we got something else. We were holding it, but you know what? We fucked up, so we're just going to tell you. But no. I feel like it's going to be like Skyrim on your cell phone or something.
Dude,
something stupid like that.
Bethesda is like the really drunk uncle that is at every family gathering. And for a while, you listen to his stories. And you were a kid, and you thought he was funny, and you just laughed and had a good time. And then as you got older, you started to realize that, wow, he's an alcoholic.
He also tells the same stories.
He tells the same story
time.
every single time I'm here, and it no longer becomes funny. It no longer becomes interesting. It just becomes annoying. And then after the annoyance happens, you just start ignoring him. You're just like, oh, you have a friend over, dude. That guy's no. That's just my Uncle Reg. Don't mind him.
Don't worry about him.
Yeah. It gets to the point where he starts starting his sentence like, I remember back in the day when I was 22 and I had a great career, and you're just mouthing what he's saying because you know exactly what he's saying. That's Bethesda. That's Bethesda. We don't care. Do what you got to do, Bethesda. Congrats. Now piss off.
If it's anything short of the greatest secret Elder Scrolls launch of all time, I don't care.
I'm not going to lie to you, Adam.
I couldn't fucking care less.
I know you're a huge Elder Scrolls guy.
I wouldn't be that jacked
for it, to be honest, but it's the only thing that would get that would pique my interest.
Skyrim on Switch ended it for me. I'm done with Elder Scrolls.
I'm so, like, even hearing Elder Scrolls now, just it irks me. Like, I don't care. Like, I actually care. I couldn't care less. It's over. It's all ogre now. I'm never buying a Bethesda, not a Bethesda game. I'm never buying another Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
Ever. Under any circumstance. I don't give a shit if Jesus himself is in the game walking on water. I don't care.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I'm dying for it, but what I'm saying is, of all the things that I can think of that Bethesda could announce, including a new IP, it'll be unlikely that I will give a shit about anything short of a new Elder Scrolls, not Elder Scrolls Online that they hand off to some other ZeniMax, area. Not a card game, but
you want a full-blown game.
I can't think of anything that I would really be interested in from Bethesda.
I don't see any major game other than like a tack-on game to some franchise that they're gonna do in the next 3 months. Otherwise, they would have announced it. Why wait until the last 3 months of the year to announce something new?
It's got to be something obscure, right? I'm going to say it's a remake of an old franchise that they're resurrecting. That's
maybe Starfield, because they didn't show it at E3, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting Starfield this year.
It's just very strange that they're going to release it at the end of this year and have not announced it previously. I don't know what the play is there.
They've been doing we'll announce things 6 months before, as opposed to 2 or 3 years before.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Jeff, is there anything at all Bethesda came up with you give a shit about?
No.
Okay. Panic, what about you? What do you got? What do you?
A Fallout that doesn't suck.
Okay, and I want an Elder Scrolls that doesn't suck. So we're all screwed. We'll wait and see what happens.
Their best Fallout game was Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, that's easy there, Satan.
All right.
Don't want to savagely ruin anyone's lives right now. Listen to this on the dev team, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about movies and TV and other stuff that's happened in the world of pop culture outside of games when we return. By the way, between now and I believe October 2nd, here on Twitch, it is 50% off your first subscription. So if you're feeling fancy, you want to support Technical Alpha, feel free to hit that subscribe button.
September.
We would definitely appreciate it. Sit tight for this sellout. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Saticity. Hey guys, if you're enjoying Technical Alpha and are interested in supporting us, do I have a solution for you? We've set up this Patreon page to help us help you, help us and you. We've got a list of options that would make a used car salesman cry that provide you with a range of goodies for your support. Head on over to patreon.com/technicalalpha to see what's up for grabs. Like fancy badges and stuff? Subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to, well, badges and stuff. Not big on subscriptions. We have a button below that allows you to directly throw money at our faces. Careful you don't take those eyes out though. We are so very fond of our eyes. Honestly though, while we like to joke about the sellout, just being a regular listener is a huge help, and we're incredibly thankful for all of your support. Technical Alpha will continue soon, so sit tight. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking around for that quick little sellout. It is time for a segment I like to call Movies and TV. It's an apt name. Not very creative, but it describes exactly what we talk about. Gentlemen, It came out. There was a lot of lead up to It. I felt like I was hearing about this movie for a really long time, and it finally popped. I believe at least Jeff saw this. I don't know if Panic got to it or not. So Panic hasn't. All right, so Mr. Black, how was it? And does it live up to the astronomical amount of hype that it has received leading up to it?
Yeah, it leads up. It's infinitely better than the little It series that we got in the past. I went in with extremely high expectations. I mean, next level. When a horror film was like 90, it was like 94, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes before I went. I think it now that it's out, it's at like 88.
Settling a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when critics are drooling over a horror movie, I knew I was in for something. And was it as scary as I wanted it to be? No. I don't think the movie is scary at all. I found Annabelle Creation infinitely scarier than this movie for a number of reasons. I'm not afraid of clowns at all. It does stay true to its original source in the fact that this is going to scare the fuck out of kids. I mean, this movie will even, I would say even like teenagers, like young 12, 13, 14-year-olds, this movie is going to scare the living piss out of them because the clown focuses on kids' fears. And I really like how they played up to each kid's fear, and they made those set pieces around. Each kid has their own story. The actors, the kid actors, amazing. Absolutely amazing. One of the kids from Stranger Things, he's like kind of the comedian, the smart ass of the group. And man, I mean, it was almost like watching a comedy with this guy. There was almost too much comedy that it was like, am I watching a horror movie right now? But the thing was, none of the jokes were failing. It was like everything was hitting. And it's almost one of those ones where you don't want them to hit as much because you find yourself laughing a lot.
You want to be scared, not laughing.
I want to be scared. It kind of takes you. But the thing is it still puts you in a good mood. Like you're just having a very fun time watching the movie, because watching all these kids kind of interact with each other reminds me a lot of my childhood. Even from rock fights, like there's a big rock fight scene. Like there's so much kid things that you did as a kid, and it's so beautifully written. It's so smart. CGI at times was a little iffy. There were a couple of things, but then again, the way the movie is it doesn't take itself too serious. It's a fucking clown. And so it is very over the top and animated at times. So I think they were cautious that some of the animations wasn't at the level that it's going to scare you. You almost know that it's CGI, but it's at the same time, it's kind of like that. There isn't a whole lot of jump scares in the movie. It uses atmosphere. It uses tension. But overall, I had a great time. I still would say Annabelle Creation for me for a horror experience is the best that I've had since The Conjuring. That was scary. That makes you come home and open your closet door before you close it or turn the light on. That'll fuck you up. The clown thing, unless you have a specific fear of clowns or you've gone like the movie's really dark, man. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but there's some of these kids, their fears is very dark. Things that has gone on in their home lives and their personal lives, that may scare people. And that may bring up
Like real fears.
Some real fears, and maybe some bad emotions that maybe somebody that has gone to the movie is witnessing happen in there that may bring alive some heavy shit.
So trigger warning.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So, yeah, overall, I give it 2 thumbs up. It's not a movie I'd run out to the theater to go and watch again, but it's definitely a movie you want to go out and see in the theater with a group of people. You want to laugh with them. You want to scream with them.
Would you
awesome.
rate it a Netflix and chill movie or no?
Oh no, go to the theater and watch this. This is definitely a movie. It already killed it at the box office just on the first pre-opening night, Thursday night. I think it made over 13 million. It's projected to do. It's projected to be the biggest September movie of all time release, and it is projected to be the biggest horror film of all time in terms of box office numbers. Yeah, they think it's going to hit the $1 billion mark
for horror. That's insane.
It is the amount of like press that this has gotten, good word. They just hit it. They hit a home run in this. They hit a home run. If it does well overseas, this could be $1 billion thing. They already greenlit Chapter 2, and they're already talking about potential actors and things like that. But I won't get into that because it may spoil some things. But go out and see the movie. It's like the original. It definitely plays true to that, but there are definite spin on things.
That's crazy. Oh, I'm glad it did well. I felt like if this didn't do all that great, that Stephen King would just dig an early grave and be like, "All right, I'm out, guys. Peace."
Oh, this is beyond big.
So, that's really good. I thought something that was cool. I thought I read this. I have no idea the validity of this, but in the books, I guess it said that Pennywise shows up once every 27 years, and this movie came out like 27 years after the original It.
Yep.
Which, if that is intentional, and I'm sure it is, if that is the case,
you probably just
then I can't wait. I can't wait for It in 2044.
Yeah, no, we're gonna see another It in probably 2019.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. Now here's a question: you've obviously seen the original It. That's the one that I've seen.
Yeah.
I may or may not go to the theater to watch this. I might just wait until it comes out afterwards to see it.
It's definitely one that the wifey would really like to go see. Trust me. It's a good movie.
It's bad for her because she's actually afraid of clowns. So it'd be like she'd be wrecked.
Then no.
But what I'm most interested in seeing, because it's not really a horror, like you said, it's not for a lot of people. It's not necessarily a horror film unless you are afraid of clowns or you're a certain age where it plays to your fears, like you were saying. Is what I'm most interested in. It is how the new Pennywise measures up against Tim Curry. Because
it's better.
Tim Curry was fantastic.
He was fantastic, but it's the very opening scene. I'm going, the moment you first see the clown and stuff, I'm going, whoa, what is this? And then as he continues to talk, and the facial expressions and everything, you're going, okay, this thing's fucked. It's really, really something else. I really liked it. Good.
Also, shout outs to Tim Curry. I just like the guy. So I'm just going to give shout outs
I think
to Tim Curry.
They're both great in their own way.
Well, I mean, think
this
about
is more of a modern.
This
guy's got a lot.
27 years dated at this point.
Exactly, and this guy's got CG. The new guy's got CGI and all this other things to really add to the performance. But it's good.
Good.
It's good.
Fantastic. That's great news. I'm happy. And hopefully, other adaptations of King's works will continue to be good and not be a pile of shit. That would be most convenient for him. I think I talked last week about The Mist on the podcast. Did I, or was I on my stream? I talked about it. Yeah. I just as a random point, since we're on the Stephen King thing, the show was good, but frustrating as all hell. But the neat thing is, Gabs found this out. We went there the other day. The mall in that series was shot here in Halifax.
Really?
Bedford Place Mall.
Bedford Place Mall.
Of all fucking places. Well,
Really?
I mean, I thought about it and I was like, well, Bedford Place Mall is dead as fuck.
It's barren as all shit.
It's barren. So it makes sense.
That's cool.
But yeah, we walked in and I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. This is a random little factoid. So that was kind of neat. I hope the second season of that is far less frustrating because oh my god, I aged watching the first friggin' season of that. But I couldn't stop watching it because I did find it relatively entertaining. So I'm hoping season 2, if you could just like dial back on the like you'll be watching something you really like the series, but the characters that you're supposed to hate, you don't hate them for the right reasons. You just hate them because the situations they create are so fucking frustrating. It's not even about like hating them because they're just so evil. That was that whole series for me. That whole season, I wanted to die. But hopefully, season 2, Stephen King, keep the train going. I believe in you. Star Wars. Episode 9. The director is out.
Colin Trevorrow got sacked.
That sucks. I mean, to some it's good.
He got sacked. I think it wasn't like a absolutely. They had a creative disagreement around Leia's how they're going to handle Leia, and Disney was like, we don't like the way you're going with it, and he's kind of like, well, this is the way I want to do it. If we're not going to do it that way, then go our separate ways. So Disney's like, we'll go our separate ways.
Kathleen Kennedy's like, all right, deuces.
Peace. Yeah.
So yeah,
that is a woman that has no time for nobody. She is not interested.
She don't give a fuck. It's almost like Kathleen Kennedy's going, I know how I want to see Star Wars. I'm gonna see if you also see Star Wars the way I want to see Star Wars.
I see it.
And if you don't see it, deuces.
Yeah, you're out.
Fired.
Yep. I mean, well, we're gonna find out. You can't base everything off of the first movie, so we're gonna find out when 9 comes out. If Miss or 8 comes out, if Miss Kennedy is doing it for the whatever she's doing is working. We'll find out after 8 because having 7 be the way it was is fine. So whatever. Once 8 comes out, we'll see just how well it keeps tracking. I mean, at Star Wars, you'd almost have to, almost impossible to have it be a flop. But
it is
there
impossible.
are there's good and bad. There's good and bad with somebody being so adamant about their vision in Star Wars, and so we're obviously gonna see Kathleen Kennedy's vision of Star Wars. That is 100% what we're going to get for the entirety of this trilogy. So. I don't know. There's obviously been no talks about who replaces this director.
They literally just said he's out. We'll figure it out.
Who's doing 8 then?
Who directed it?
Yeah.
What's his face? That did
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not RYAN, but RIAN.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Okay. Well, the fancy
Ryan.
super fancy, the fancy version. I'm guessing I wonder how different the directing styles were then between those two guys.
Ryan Johnson did Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
he did like some of the 3 best episodes of Breaking Bad. He did Ozymandias, which was that legendary Breaking Bad episode.
Of course.
So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, he's done Looper. I really liked Looper as well. He's written a lot of stuff.
And Trevorrow did Jurassic World is his most recent one.
Yeah, I mean Trevorrow's he's a god, man. He makes fire blockbusters. So that's why I was like a little salty.
Surprised.
Yeah, that he of all people would get fired. Like that's
those differences must have been pretty friggin' spectacular for that.
Well, that was the thing. Like Trevorrow was he wasn't just director; he was also in charge of kind of writing for that part too. So at that point, if you're this early on and you and the director have a major disagreement on how you want it written and how you want something to go, that's kind of the point where you're going to say, all right, then we should probably find someone else.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is they also took him. People were mad because he did Jurassic World and they wanted him to do the next Jurassic sequel. And Star Wars said, well, we'll give you a Star Wars movie. And of course he's going,
I'll take a Star Wars
okay,
movie.
I'll do a Star Wars movie. And so he left, and somebody else directed the new Star Wars Fallen Kingdom or whatever it's called. I do believe he still like co-wrote it and maybe even produced it, or was part of the. He's in the credits somewhere for still being part of it. I think he was. Yeah, he's got a writing credit. But beyond that, he was going to direct it as well. And Jurassic World did over $1 billion. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably getting close to $2 billion. It did so much money. It crushed it. I think it's like the third or fourth most like biggest film ever. So he made tons of money.
Huge.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm sure he'll hop on for the third Jurassic World because it'll be a trilogy for sure.
Oh, 100%. Oh.
I don't think he's going anywhere anytime
100%.
soon.
No.
He'll be picking that right back up.
Gavin O'Connor is in to write and direct Suicide Squad's sequel, Ayers is in handling Gotham City's Sirens.
That was kind of an interesting move because Ayers did the original Suicide Squad, but then he immediately, like when they said they're going to do a sequel, he took on Gotham City Sirens instead. So he's like launching that one with Margot Robbie and some other characters, which is interesting. I'm actually really excited about Gavin O'Connor because he did The Accountant.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a great job with it. He's done some other stuff, but he's also, at the same time, he's doing the Green Hornet remake, or like a short film version of it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm interested to see like what he's gonna do with Suicide Squad, because I feel like as much as I like Ayers as a director, Suicide Squad kind of wasn't his beat per se.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Gavin O'Connor might be able to make Suicide Squad not as bad a movie. So.
Yeah,
could be an interesting take.
He wrote some good movies too.
Yeah, he's writing and directing this one. So
good. Yeah, I mean he can make a good film. And he's also doing the Accountant sequel got greenlit as well.
Yes,
so I do believe he's
going
doing
on.
that. Which will be good for Ben Affleck as well to kind of take a break from Batman in between, have like a hit.
Yeah, bring him back a little bit.
But yeah, no, that's a interesting choice for Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah,
but it's not a bad one.
Oh no, definitely not a bad one. Like I saw when I saw Gavin O'Connor Suicide Squad, I'm like, because when Suicide Squad came out and all that, I was pretty negative on it. But when I saw Gavin O'Connor Suicide Squad sequel, I'm like, you know what? If someone can do it right, he probably could. He could probably make a movie that's not going to be as weirdly paced or weirdly received as Suicide
I mean, how
Squad.
much can you really blame pacing on anything other than the fact that the studio was trying to cram so many damn characters into a singular film with no backstories or anything, and just
rushed.
Here we are.
Yeah.
It's just rushed. I mean, I don't even think you can blame a director for that or anything. That's just like, what are you going to do?
Well, that's kind of a thing. This is kind of rushed too because it's due out early 2019, not late 2019, early.
Shocker. But at least Suicide Squad 1 got the core story stuff out of the way for some of these characters. And so, as rushed as it still is, totally, which is like the life of DC right now, at least the core stuff is done, and it's going to allow them to focus more on making the pacing better, for sure. So hopefully that would be it would be nice to see DC continue their streak. I think Wonder Woman was their great start for that, and hopefully they can keep pumping that jam.
Yep.
I want to see them continue to do well, but I say that at the same time. Like we said, I think we already talked about this before, is just, my God, the amount, like, you're going to notice a trend here.
And I'm
Next thing on this list, Drew Goddard to write and direct X-Force, the Deadpool spinoff.
Now,
it's like every bit of movie and or TV related news is superheroes.
I do like the fact of going with an X-Force though, because X-Force can be, as long as they go
it's
like
oversaturated, but yeah.
Yeah, I hope they go like rated R for this. I hope that it's like a brutal.
Well, here's the interesting thing with this, right? Drew Goddard is kind of, again, I'm excited about this too. Like, I know we're talking a lot about
he's
the
an
superhero
awesome
stuff,
writer, man.
But like, he's done Lost, he's done Alias for his older stuff. He was an executive producer on The Martian, which was a fantastic movie.
World War Z.
Yeah, he did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was received very well. And then on top of that, people are like, okay, so what else? he's done most of the Marvel TV stuff that was
Yep.
considered good. He did
Daredevil.
26 episodes of Daredevil, and he did Defenders, both of which were deemed very good Marvel properties. Even
Yep.
though the Defenders was kind of mixed, the actual, the show itself was good. It was just too short, was most people's complaints.
Yep.
So, Drew Goddard, I think he's a really good choice. He's been killing it on TV. He's done pretty good
He's been
movies.
a good TV guy, yeah. He's only directed like one film though.
Yeah.
But it was a good film, The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. So him doing a spin-off, it's not a bad way to start him off.
Nope.
For a movie.
Nope. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think that's
just wish we were getting stuff other than all the superhero stuff.
I know,
It's too much coming out at once. Like, I get you're making money off of it, but like, it's oversaturation at this point. I'm like, gotta track Deadpool spin-offs, Deadpool, all these other things going on with DC. Marvel's got like a ton of things with their like next phase launching. I'm like, come on, guys, like slow it down a bit. You're taking all the good directors. We want things for other projects.
I don't even like go and watch the vast majority of every movie released, and I still feel fatigued by superhero shit.
I want to
Like,
see. I want to see what Drew
imagine-
Goddard would do that isn't a Marvel thing at this point. He's done 2 major Marvel things. Let it spread his wings a little bit. Same thing with Gavin O'Connor. At least he's doing other things other than Suicide Squad. But like a lot of our like hit blockbuster directors that are not like the mainstream ones, they're getting taken up for all of these like hero projects by like the big studios. We're like,
yeah.
When is Quentin Tarantino gonna come and give us a good series, man? Just hurry up, Quentin.
Didn't he say he was doing 10 movies and then he was piecing out?
That's why he's on. He's got the 9th one he's working on, I think.
He's doing Kill Bill 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Uma Thurman gonna get out of her wheelchair and reprise her role?
It's gonna be Margot Robbie, the fucking
okay.
What's her face?
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Which is a good
So is
choice.
it like
I don't know.
So is it a prequel?
Maybe
sequel?
it's her daughter. Maybe it's
He's doing another project actually in addition to Kill Bill at the same time. He's doing the
every time I see
the
Kill
Manson
Bill,
family project.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Every time I see Kill Bill, it pops up on TV or whatever, and it's Bill. Bill was the Asian bro, right? If I remember correctly. I've seen the movies all like once.
Yeah, he's
David Carradine.
Yeah, so David Carradine. Every time I see David, that's his name. I was trying to think of his name this whole time. I just think of the incredible TV series Kung Fu. And I just want to watch Kung Fu every time I see him pop up on screen. That's actually, I just thought of that again. Like, it just came to my mind now.
Jeff,
I need to go watch some more Kung Fu.
Are you sure Margot Robbie's in Kill Bill 3? Because I'm seeing her credited for the Manson family project, but not Kill Bill 3, possibly.
Oh, well, maybe that's it. Because I saw a headline with her and Quentin working on next film, so maybe I just got that mixed. Is he still doing Kill Bill Volume 3? Or
yeah, both of them are listed. Both of them are announced. Both of them are announced.
Yeah, I'll look it up here.
Yeah, a little surprised.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, she's on the Manson family project. Interesting. And nobody is under for Kill Bill 3 yet.
It's like empty. I'm like, okay.
All right.
It's happening. We just
there
don't
you
know
go.
who's
My
in it
apologies.
yet. No, I was just curious. I'm like, is he working on it with 2 projects? That would be interesting too.
Yeah,
because he does that. He does have his. He does have.
Oh
his
yeah, he does it with everybody. I mean, you see
favorites.
Samuel L. Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom, or who else? Who else is in a lot of his movies? There's like another actor.
Jamie Foxx was in a couple of them.
Jamie Foxx, Jamie Foxx. There's a few.
Mm.
There's a few.
Even
what's his face? Step Up dude, fucking Channing Tatum. He's been showing up in Quentin's movies. Kurt Russell. Yeah, he loves Kurt Russell.
One of the big ones, yeah.
Yeah, loves Kurt Russell. I mean, who doesn't love Kurt Russell?
He's great for Tarantino
Quentin
movies.
Tarantino talks Kill Bill 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Uma Thurman's The Bride made one more appearance.
There you go.
There you go. It's gonna be like Harrison Ford. Just I'll only do it, but you have to kill my character. If I'm gonna show up, if I'm gonna go to the gym for the next 6 months for 30 seconds of screen time, I need to be dead. The character needs to die. One more thing before we wrap up this segment, I just want to give a quick shout out to Battlestar Galactica, which I started watching again because I started a while ago and then I stopped because other stuff came up, and now I'm back into watching it again. And holy shit, Battlestar Galactica is fucking awesome.
Up until the last season.
It's really good. All I can see, I don't know because I don't watch so much TV and movies that I would know this, but when I
Edward
watched
James
it,
Olmos.
Whoever did the cinematography for it and like the space shots with like the starting out from a distance and doing this like zoom in kind of whatever, this like kind of crazy zoom. I don't even know how to describe it, but I realized going back and watching this, which I mean, Battlestar's original series was like 2000, or the original season was like 0304. That any movie or TV show that I can think of that was in space has utilized that exact same like pan zoom
The cameras,
in space.
yeah.
Yes, the exact same one. And I can't even get
I
mad
love
because it's
that
dope.
they did the sound
I fucking
engineering
love
really
it.
well, where they like dulled out the sound effects. I watched it
Yes.
again like a year ago, so it's like fresh.
Yeah.
But like,
I
they
actually
did it
mentioned
really
that
well.
exact thing the other night when Gabs and I were watching an episode and there was combat going on or whatever. And obviously anyone's going to know there's no sound in space, but that would be so damn boring if you're watching a TV show and it was just like dead silent the whole time. So but they give you the effect that just sounds good, that dulled out
As if
effect.
you're sitting in the cockpit or something, like what you'd hear.
Yes, exactly. And I love the music. It's like the super
I think
earthy,
Battlestar
grounded shit.
Galactica would be very good on Netflix now if they came out with their with a season.
The Netflix
They
original.
brought it back, yeah, like a Netflix original. I think it would do very, very well. Big
The
shout out and
problem is-
thank you to Base Trade as well. He hosted us
A
up.
massive host.
Oh,
So welcome everybody. Thank you.
Rifkin, kisses.
But yeah, no,
But-
I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think Netflix would actually do it because that 03 series is fresh. It still holds up and it's done really well. They wouldn't necessarily get anything out of it.
Yeah, the most they could do would be up the they just spend a bunch of money on updating the special effects.
They wouldn't even need to. Like the
The only place where it really shows is like the OG model Cylons. They're the
Yeah.
only ones that you can kind of. It's like it's not even as good as like T1000 from back in the 80s. Like it's not even quite that level.
The thing I loved about that though was not the initial movie, which was fantastic. Like the initial pilot movie they did. It was
It was a 2-part series.
Yeah, not
thing or
that
whatever.
part. The second one, I think it was called like Razor or something. It was the one in the middle where they introduced the Battlestar Pegasus. That whole arc and that thing was like, I'm like, that's like sci-fi storytelling at its finest. Like they did it fantastically, and then how they integrated it in with the show. I'm like,
yep. Oh, it's great.
top-notch TV.
It's great.
Top-notch TV.
I'm excited to continue.
Yes.
I'm excited to continue watching that.
So, before we go on a little break here, going into the second half, everybody starting next week, we are going to be doing the podcast on Thursdays. So
Same
every
time,
Thursday,
just on
same
Thursdays.
time, just on Thursdays. Apologize if that's any inconvenience for you. It's just Friday nights it's a tough thing to give up every Friday.
We've
So
done it for
we managed
26 weeks.
Yeah, we've done it for 26 weeks. It was great. The main reason why we're doing it, not only are we able to now go see movies on opening night and kind of just have our weekend to ourselves and plan, but the big thing is because of events. So there's, PAX, TwitchCons, BlizzCons, everything. And so when you travel from Friday till Sunday. And instead of one person
little
not
bit
being
trickier,
here
too,
twice a
'cause-
month or whatever, we're just going to put it on Thursdays. And that way everybody will be able to go to events when they want to. And we won't have to worry about all that stuff. And people will be able to do their things on Friday nights.
For TwitchCon and BlizzCon, we might actually still move to like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Because of the distance travel. But in general, Thursday is a little bit more convenient for people also because it gives Adam a little bit of time to prep everything as he needs to, even though he gets everything out on time. Just having the Friday night available gives us a lot more quality of life for balance and like doing stuff with family and friends.
So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel right now, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we do a 3-hour podcast, roughly 3 hours. We're just finishing up the first half now. Second half is us taking questions from our Patreon supporters. No real theme to that. Typically, it's video games and pop culture, movie type things, tech stuff. But second half, it gets a little dumb. So prepare your bodies.
Sometimes it gets a little crazy for sure. But yeah, we will be back inside of 5 minutes. So sit tight. Really appreciate that host once again. Base Trade, awesome as always. And yeah, just sit tight. We shall return. For those of you listening on iTunes or on YouTube, unless it's already out because you've patiently waited already, Side B will be heading your way soon enough and you'll be able to catch it. But for everyone else, sit tight. We shall be right back. And until we see you, peace. Hey guys, if you're enjoying Technical Alpha and are interested in supporting us, do I have a solution for you? We've set up this Patreon page to help us help you, help us and you. We've got a list of options that would make a used car salesman cry that provide you with a range of goodies for your support. Head on over to patreon.com/technicalalpha to see what's up for grabs. Like fancy badges and stuff? Subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to, well, badges and stuff. Not big on subscriptions. We have a button below that allows you to directly throw money at our faces. Carefully don't take those eyes out though. We are so very fond of our eyes. Honestly though, while we like to joke about the sellout, just being a regular listener is a huge help, and we're incredibly thankful for all of your support. Technical Alpha will continue soon, so sit tight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, September 8th, 2017, all day today. Welcome back to Side B of the Technical Alpha Podcast. We just got off talking about all that movies, TV, and whatnot. It's been a lovely, lovely time. And now, thanks to our good friends at Base Trade, we've got a bigger audience. We can look crazy in front of at least 5 times the amount of people as usual. How often do you get that kind of opportunity? Let's make it all happen.
Now,
shall we, gentlemen?
This is a perfect time for me to call you out. You might want to update that starting bumper there, thing every Friday at 8 to 10, maybe every Friday 8 to 11, or now every Thursday 8 to 11.
I'm just probably going to remove it all together. I don't know. We're going to find out what we'll do later on. Yeah, for now, we are here. I've got my... What's left of my water? We made this a really quick turnaround on that break. What's left of my water for the next while? Let's dive into it. What do we got for questions, gentlemen? What do we got for questions? I had to bring up the page myself here.
We're a bit low this week. I'm a little disappointed in you, patrons.
We might have to take some questions from the chat at this point.
Oh, I'm
Hey,
down
well,
for
there's
taking
nothing wrong
questions
with
from the
that.
chat this time. We can get the subs in on
Fairness
it.
to them, I didn't get this up until this afternoon.
Oh,
So
okay.
fairness to the patrons, yeah.
Well, what do you got?
That's
What do you got,
probably a good
Panic?
chunk of it.
Let's go with our good friend. I'm gonna go with we're gonna go with the Spanish version in honor of all the hurricanes. We're gonna call him Javier Page today. Javier with an X. He's one of our $10 patrons. He's been he's up to 55 on lifetime support.
Damn.
So good on you, man. Good on you. We really appreciate the long-term support. So his question is: there have been a large number of MMOs, each having varying degrees of success. If you were to design your own, what would your theme be? You know, races, monsters. What's like the big gimmick that you would have for your MMO?
I don't know. That's tough. I mean, the MMOs are like kind of like RPGs are starting to just bleed into every other genre. So it's hard to just
Well, he didn't
call
say
it out
he
now.
didn't say MMORPG. He says just an MMO. So any massive.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, yeah, it's hard for me to not
Yeah.
want to call it MMORPG,
Alright,
but
fair
yeah,
enough.
just an MMO. It's
Honestly,
that kind of stuff's bleeding.
I'll make it easy because I
Mm.
haven't put much thought into this, but I would basically want Star Citizen if it was actually a game. You know, if it was out.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Is like I'd want a space-based one, and Star Citizen fills that void.
Yeah.
If I had it.
Yeah. If it was like if it was an actual real thing that was eventually going to be released and not in production for until my
Forever.
kid is going to be 19 years old, then
want
sure.
I'd want a Star Trek version of Star Citizen, like full on licensed, not like what we have from Cryptic, but like just a full on version, like where you walk around, you do your function, you train in your function, and you have all of that. That would be pretty freaking baller, where your role matters more than standard class type things.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I can't really think of an MMO that I would rather have.
No, I mean Star Citizen is. I mean we all
We like our space.
to chirp it,
We like our space.
but it's space and it's cool. And if it ever actually comes to fruition, then it will probably be pretty awesome. So, yeah, that's where I'm going with that. Here's a good one. I like this question. I can't wait to hear Jeff's answer to this question. Where'd it go? Uh-oh, I lost it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Zero Arrival asks, who is, by the way, a $25 pledge, 50 lifetime. Thank you, Zero. He asks, or she for that matter, I'm not entirely sure, name something each of you has stolen growing up, whether it be a grape from the produce section as a kid, or money out of a found wallet in a movie theater, something that has stood out in your memory or caused you lots of guilt. One or the other. Love you, beautiful ladies. I mean, I do have nice legs. Thank you very much, Zero.
My
for that
beard is
question.
glorious.
It is. It's fantastic.
Oh man. I'm not gonna incriminate myself, so
It's when we were kids.
I
What are
don't
people
care.
gonna do? Come back and put you in jail?
I don't care. You know what? Honestly, the one that I do feel and I always kind of felt bad about is the whole Pokemon card thing.
Wow.
I really
You're a
feel
monster.
Yeah, I really feel bad about that. For those that don't know, give you a backstory. Used to collect Pokemon cards, and I was kind of a dick. We went to the flea market on a Sunday to sell cards. Actually, this is where I kind of feel like bad in two different ways, and in the same day. Went to the forum at the local flea market. Set up a table to sell Pokemon cards. Now, you guys got to understand that this was when Pokemon was like the thing. This was peak. I mean, when kids used to look forward to going to the flea market to buy cards, trade cards, get card packs, all that fun stuff. When you were a good boy in school, mommy and daddy would reward you with a pack of Pokemon cards. All right, that was the show. So we went there. There was a big group of us, and what I did, this is the first part of me feeling guilty. I made little Pokemon packs. So what I would do is kind of like they had the little plastic sleeves that you put cards in to protect them. I would put in like stack of 3, and 2 of the 3 would always at least be super common. So you would have like a Nidalee. Did I say Nidalee? Is that a League of Legends thing?
Where
sorry.
are you right now?
I'm on.
Get out!
I'll be honest. I had muscle relaxers, and I'm like, I've been tired for the last hour because they've kicked in. Because my neck is all messed up.
I'm on some Oxycontin, and I've been foaming at the mouth for 3 days.
I got these lights in my eyes after listening to the drills all day.
What did that little beat?
What you were going
that's
for.
What I was going for.
There
Nidoran.
you go.
So there'll be him and like maybe like a leaf card or whatever. And then in the middle, there's an opportunity for a rare card or a holographic or just a regular ass plain ass card. Well, my thing is you could do a pack for $2 or 3 for $5. And the whole table, just like a regular size table, would have dozens of packs laid out. And the kids would come by and they'd give me, $2, and they'd grab a pack, or they'd do 3 for $5, get their parents to do it. And I would advertise that there was an opportunity for them to win a Blastoise. So, of course, for $2, why not go for it? The Blastoise is relatively expensive. So, anyway, there's one kid in particular. He probably spent about $20 at the start, pulled nothing. I think like the rarest card he got was like an Arcanine or something. And he started to get like frustrated because he really wanted the Blastoise. And what I did is every time he would buy like 2 packs, 4 packs, I would replenish. I would put new packs in, and then I would mix them all up. And I would say, like, you got to go and walk around the forum and then come back because I got to mix them up. If not, you're going to know which ones are left for there to pull the Blastoise. Well, he got mad at me, and he was like, nah, bro, I want more packs. I want to keep. So I said, all right, man, fine. So he gives me more money, and we get about almost $50 deep. And the kid was probably maybe 12, 13 years old. It's like he spent all his entire like saved up allowance for the last 3 months.
Whole year.
Yeah, or a year. And finally he pulls the Blastoise, and he's pulling, like, when you get packs, you go slow, right? So he's pulling the Blastoise, and he slowly comes up, and he's like, yes, I get the Blastoise, right? And I'm going, oh fuck, and not because he won the Blastoise, but he kept pulling it up, and as he pulled it up, there was a massive crease right in the middle of the holographic. Like, like the card was bent, like in half on the holographic part. And he goes, what is this? And I was like, you got a Blastoise. And he was like, I want my money back. And I'm like, nah, man, like, that's it. Like, I didn't say the condition of the Blastoise. And he was fucking pissed. He got his mom to come over, and we talked it out and stuff like that. I ended up keeping the vast majority of the money. I gave him like $20 back or $18 back or something.
Blastoise.
Oh, he was mad. Yeah. Oh, he was mad. So that was the first part.
Okay.
The second part was a guy came over, and he wanted to battle me. Actually, he had another table. And so I went over to him. I, cleaned up, went over to him. And I'm the undefeated Pokemon champion. Like, nobody fucks with me in my deck. Nobody does. You fucking with your boy, you're going down. So this guy says, I bet you I can beat you. I said, well, what do you got on the line? He said, I'll put up my Charizard. Ooh. I said, okay, I'll put up my Charizard, right? I had a few of them, no big deal. I was like, I'll put up my Charizard here. So, group of kids, we all get around. There's a big fucking war going. So we start playing. It's heated. The guy's good. He's pulling some good cards. I had a rough start. Shit's going crazy. Eventually, long story short, I win. Charizard sitting right there. I go for the Charizard. I grab it. He grabs it. He said, no, you're not having my Charizard. You can have any other card. You're not having my Charizard. I said, motherfucker, this is what we bet on. If you would have won, you would have been taking my Charizard right now. He's like, nah. So I have one side of the card. He has the holographic side of the card. And we're sitting there like, no. And I'm like, dude, you're going to fucking, you're going to bend your card, right? And I'm talking to him like I'm saying it right now. You're going to fucking bend your card or my card. Let it go. He's like, no. So I said, okay, and I crushed it.
Oh!
Right on one side, just fucking crushed the card.
Oh!
And he said, I just watched him just die. Like right there, just die. And then I said, now you owe me. So I went to his binder and I took the first page of holographics and I ripped the fucking sleeve right out of his binder and I took the whole page.
Oh.
Took every holographic that was on there, I just took it, yanked it. He goes, thief! Thief! There's a thief! Right? He's going crazy, making a big scene and shit. I ended up feeling bad about that. But I was mad. The dude lost. Charizard was the most rare and expensive holographic back then. So I just grabbed the whole fucking, the whole page. And it was in those plastic sleeves, you know, where you can put like 3 cards on each row. So I just, it just ripped right cards, out, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I just ripped the whole fucking page. He said, that's my mom's page. What the fuck is that your mom's page? You should have. And so he had a crushed Charizard on the table because it was my Charizard. I won it, and so I crushed it. So I feel bad about that. I basically stole the guy's page of Pokemon cards.
Bro, you should have kept that Charizard and put it in those packs to randomly win.
So yeah, that's
Charizard.
You know,
it's a Charizard.
That's the closest. That's the closest thing to like stealing that I feel bad about, because now that I look back on it, you know, it's I shouldn't have done that, but I was a kid, you know, I was like, I don't even know how old I was then. I was young. And so you know, it is what it was. You know how kids are kids, right? And I was always the wanting to be the alpha,
man.
Right? So I just want to show dominance. I'm not gonna let this guy punk me in front of my friends.
Nothing says alpha like crushing a Charizard.
Straight up crushed it, bro. Straight up, it was, dude. If you would have saw his face, like, because you just wouldn't think that someone would just crush a Charizard.
He figured you'd back down and just let it go.
Exactly, but I wasn't letting it go. And it was just funny. We're sitting there having a tug of war, and I could feel the card just starting to bend. And at that point, I lost it. I got mad because now the card is worthless, and he's fucking around. And so I crushed it. I crushed one half of it, and then eventually let go, and I just ripped the other one right out. Ripped the whole page. It was a big scene, dude. Everybody was looking at us. And the people that ran the flea market didn't want us there anyway because we were like young kids. Making a bunch of noise, like playing Pokemon, screaming and yelling.
To get you out.
Oh yeah, dude, they did not like us there at all. So there you go. There's mine.
I remember. I mean, the closest I ever came. I mean, I'm such a white bread goody. I never really stole anything. But the closest.
Adam's got a closet of things he's stolen.
The closest, yes. I keep a supply of things I've stolen over the years. No, the thing I remember, and coincidentally, Jeff is involved for this. The closest thing for
such a negative
for stealing
Jeff.
Something was when we were building camps on our street, which was we built a lot of camps, like a lot of camps. So like it just okay. So camp. When I say camp, I mean we built houses in the woods, basically. And the last one. That we ever built, we got to the age of the last one, we wanted to combine all into this one complex. And when I say complex, I mean it had the footprint of a fucking house.
I wish we took pictures of that, dude. It'd be so
nobody
funny
really
to
had a
look
camera
back
that they
at.
could have taken a picture of it, but I can't exaggerate when I say this thing was 30 feet long by at least 25 feet deep, and it was 2 stories. No roof, we never got that far. But it was a 2-story with an inside that was kind of opened up.
Yeah, you could walk around it too. You could walk around the top floor.
You could walk around it. And the reason was because everyone on the street, and we had a lot of kids on the street, all around the same age, plus or minus a couple of years, we all had our own bedrooms in this friggin' camp. So my dad had supplied nails for like, I don't know, 5 straight years building camps, and we were running low on nails, it was whatever. So this was going to be the last hurrah one way or another. We were already salvaging other camps' nails and other camps' wood. It was like a Frankenstein. But it was too big. We had already salvaged all the wood that we knew of, and we ran out. We had no more where we could go. So across from where we grew up, there was a lumber mart.
Literally across the street.
across the street, a lumber mart. And so we had a long-standing deal with the guys at Lumber Mart that their scrap pile, we could take wood from the scrap pile for doing whatever he wanted to it because it just sat there until it rotted up and then got thrown in the garbage. And we had taken stuff from there. There was like pallets and there was actual like some plywoods and stuff.
Yep.
But we had already used up all of the scrap pile. And there was new management at the lumber mart at the time, and they weren't particularly on top of everything at the store. There was a next to where the where the scrap pile was, there were bundles wrapped of 2x6 by like 10.
2x6.
2x6 by 10 plank.
Wow.
Like
straight up planks.
big wood.
Construction.
If you know what I'm saying.
Construction lumber.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the shit that you would frame your fucking house with, like the walls, like
even then,
like,
2x6 is a hell of a frame. Like you're building the tank, you go 2x6. You laminate 2x6 for beams. Like you
That's right.
These are big pieces of wood. So we were like, well, you know what? And it was right next to it, and so we were like, you know what? That's close enough to the scrap pile.
That's scrap, man.
It's
that
scrap.
perfectly wrapped wood, and that's got to be scrap, right?
It's in the heat. It's there, totally. So we took an X-Acto blade and we cut the sheet open. We opened it up. We're like, oh, we'll just take a couple. We took like what had to be half of an entire pallet of 2x6 by 10.
Straight jacked it. Walking down the street, fucking these big ass pieces of plank, just running down the street.
We'd be taken like in a convoy. There was like 10 of us, so we'd been in convoy with people on both ends of this timber. We'd have like 3 at a time, in two groups, in broad daylight, walking across the street. Cars passing by. We were waiting for traffic to go by, and people would be looking at us, going, "What the fuck are these children on all this major timber?"
Yeah.
And we just walked down the street, and parents would be looking like, "What is going on?
What's happening here?"
But we were on the side of the street where the vast majority of our parents weren't, and we'd just walk into the woods.
Like, "That's so much lumber that they couldn't have stolen it."
And yeah, no way.
It's broad daylight.
We walked into the woods and took it to the camp, and we built out the rest of the camp. And unfortunately, a neighbor.
Yeah.
Who was one of the first owners of a house on the street, obviously was quite salty that the street turned into a young neighborhood and they hated kids with a passion. And so, despite the fact that...
Well, I mean, you've got the kids going into the woods with large amounts of lumber with no good reason.
She had no idea about that.
You couldn't even step on her fucking yard. We'd have our pedal bikes and we'd be driving down the street. And we would, you know, like when you'd ramp off the side of a curb, like you'd get, like when you're going in a driveway, you've got like flaps, and you'd take your bike and you just ramp off the side and get some air. Well, I used to take my bike and go on the curb and then ride my bike on the curb and just kind of like look at her house. And she would just be waiting for me to fuck up and accidentally go like on her yard, and she would fucking lose her shit. So like driving on the curb in front of her house was live or die.
It's just torture.
Oh, it was live or die. She hated us so much. It hated me too because I was black. So you know, hated me even more.
Doubly so.
Double hate.
Hard on the difficulty slider.
She was tired of all the noise we were making building this camp, and it wasn't like we were building it at crazy hours. We were kids, so we were doing it like 11 o'clock in the morning. We'd wrap up 7 o'clock at night or something at the latest. And this was only during the summer because we're in Canada and you can't build a fucking camp in the dead of winter. So I mean, it was like a short period of time.
Weren't strong enough, man enough.
No, they just not had the. We didn't have the Constitution. To make that happen. But she got tired of it. She called the Department of Forestry. And they came down and saw that because technically we're on government land, but we're a bunch of kids, and we were inside of like 30 feet of the line where the back of the houses were.
Like from my window, I could see the camp. Like there was this big fucking Toyota sign that we also stole from signs. And we put it like a huge Toyota logo on the top of the like that would be at a dealership, like a massive fucking symbol. We had it on the top. That's how big our camp was, that it looked like a symbol for a building on our fucking camp. So in my backyard, you could see the camp there. We would run extension cords so we could work on the camp at night, and we would also just go in there and tell scary stories and shit, have like a bonfire. We would run an extension cord from my house into the camp.
Yes.
And we'd have lamps and shit all set up. It would be for real. Like, there were nights where we'd have TV and video games in the camp. Like, we would just run extension cords there and just play, and we'd sleep in there and everything.
So she calls the Department of Forestry, and so they come down, and we're all building the camp at the time, and they're like, kids, so unfortunately, you're gonna have to take all this down, and you're gonna have 2 weeks to do it. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go to the parents, and they're gonna be paying the fines for what you're doing here. And we were like, you've got to be kidding me. And they're like, no, peace. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And so we had to take down the biggest camp ever constructed.
I actually didn't even know it was being taken down. I went out one day and the shit was gone. And I was like, I was in shock. I had the wood was gone. Everything was gone. I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe it. I went there, but when I got my motorcycle, like back in 2014, I took my bike down there. I did a vlog where I went to go to the old campsite. And you can still see sort of
where it was.
Yeah. You know what? That's what I'll do on an upcoming vlog. I'll go down there.
Is that neighbor still there?
Oh, I would imagine. I would imagine so.
Jeff, you need to buy just that small segment of land. And build
Dude, I just need to drive down there in my car and rev. And somebody is going to get very, very mad down there. Very mad.
You just pull right up to the curb.
But you know,
especially now that the street isn't full of kids, now it's mostly just retirees.
Honestly, can you blame them? I mean, if it was me, like rowdy. In my neighborhood, like right now, I would be like, where the fuck are these parents? Like, you know, our parents didn't really care as long as we weren't causing any trouble. We were just being kids, like going out playing track down late at night, screaming and yelling, going on,
Dude,
building camps, and that was it. We were having fun.
When I was in college, we had. And this was hilarious because I thought it was funny up until one of my friends got like wrecked. But there were roaming gangs of 8th graders with like baseball bats that would like attack college students who were walking home. They're like iPods and stuff. I'm like, where are their parents?
We didn't do that. We just had street wars.
Yeah.
We
were in the suburbs too. This was not like an urban like thing. This was like a very, very small college town. Like. It was not urban at all. We're just like we're reading in the school newspaper about these roaming gangs of 8th graders, and we're like, okay,
it's safe. It's wonderful.
Like, well then,
so it sounds like some spin-off of The Outsiders.
Yeah,
where everyone's a greaser, just being greasy. So there you go. That's the closest. That's the closest. I actually had another one that it wasn't me. It was Jeff because it's the one that sticks in my mind. Can I tell it?
No, it's enough. That's enough.
It's just a minor one. No, it's not even stealing. It's not even really stealing.
Oh, what is it?
It's not even really stealing.
What is it?
Remember, it was when we were still golfing a lot, but really early on, and you needed a new putter, and we went into a crappy tire. And you found a putter that you liked. Reverse that. It was a driver. You needed a driver, and we were in the aisle at Crappy Tire, and you fucking you took the.
What did I do, Adam?
You took the barcode off the putter and you put it on the driver. And you took it up, and the person pretty much watched you do this shit. And you walked up, and you handed them the driver, and they rang it in, and they didn't fucking say anything, and we fucking walked out. You got like a $200 driver for $49.99.
I honest to God don't even remember that, dude. I honestly don't even remember.
It like it was yesterday. Oh my God! I was like, because I was standing there, and I was like, you can't be serious. The fucking desk was like. Right there, the aisle lined up exactly where the cashier was, and Jeff just goes.
When you need a driver, you need a driver.
I'm gonna step off for 1 second because I think I might still have the thing I stole.
Okay, all right.
Go get it.
That's all it was. That's all it was. That we were out, and Jeff was like, "I need a driver," and so he just takes the sticker and just slaps it on. I still don't understand. The person must just hated their job, because
they probably just didn't give a fuck, bro.
No, because it shows up obviously as a putter.
Oh, what I do to be a kid again, man. What I do.
Oh, that was so funny. I just remember being so fucking like dumbfounded. Like I'm watching it happen, and I'm like, and he scans it, and I'm waiting for it to like happen, and she just take it, and we left. That was it. It was beautiful. All right, what do you got? What do you got, Panic?
Stole this. And you might be wondering.
Really?
You might be wondering what this is, right?
Easy there, Edgelord. What is it?
So in New York, there was this show. I completely forgot the name of the show. It's one of those like living art type place things. You go and it's going on all around, and different storylines are playing out, and all the audience members will actually have to wear these masks, and they walk around and they can kind of observe the story from the different points of view that they want to as they explore. It's like a hotel that's like 6-7 stories, and you can go
Panic. If you could talk any further away from your microphone, that would be way more useful.
All right, yeah. My bad. So, you have to you walk around and you do your whole thing. You get to see the story from different viewpoints. All this crazy stuff's going on. And when they're leaving, they're saying, "Everyone, return your masks. Everyone, please return your masks." And then the woman is like looking at me, makes eye contact, is like, "Please return your masks," and like keeps looking at me like feeling. I'm like, you know what? And I had some friends with me. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that bitch. I'm taking this mask. I'm keeping this mask. And she's like,
such a random mask. It just looks like Jay Leno never saw the light of day.
And I'm like, this is mine now. No, it's
so
just all the actors and stuff are not wearing masks, so this is for all the audience members and stuff. Just walk around like hidden, because
that's like almost like when I'm at the movie theater and they're like, "Yo, please give back your 3D glasses," and you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna keep my 3D glasses. I'm gonna take these home.
I was cool with it, but no, she like made eye contact with me, like, "Oh, you're that brown guy over there is gonna take that mask."
Damn right, that brown guy is.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, you profiling me now? Like making eye contact saying return your mask?"
And that brown guy got a driver at the sale of a putter too.
Oh my God, that's great.
Oh, so childhood, dude! There are so many stories I could tell about my childhood that would just make your head spin. Just absolutely make your head spin on some of the dumb shit that I've done. All right, next question. Let me see here. What is okay, here we go. This is from Soft Shoe, who is a $10 supporter.
I was going to ask you this if you didn't ask this.
$60 lifetime supporter, so he's been doing it for a while. Thank you. What is the single most mildly annoying thing another driver can do on the road? Follow up, are you guys coming to PodCon in Seattle in December? So the second part, no.
No.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. It's going to be one hell of a stretch goal to do.
Get us to that 10,000 mark and we'll consider it.
All right. So yeah, what is the single most mildly annoying thing another driver can do on the road?
I'm going to say for me, okay. I guess the one that annoys me the
what
most.
Grinds your gears?
I only really have two major pet peeves on the road. And they're almost neck and neck for how annoying they are to me. It depends on where I'm driving and how fast I'm trying to get there. One is when you're on a highway, and I don't know how often this happens in other places, whatever. Here in Nova Scotia, we have sections of our highways that are twinned into two sets of two in either direction, and then there will be times where that goes down where it's 2 lanes on one, and sometimes it will go from double lane down to single in both directions. Any time that you go from double lane into where lanes are going against each other, people in the lane will go from driving, at the speed limit or higher, and then all of a sudden it's like they're terrified that just because we've lost a single lane, people are going to veer onto oncoming traffic, and so they drive.
You've lost 50% of your lanes, Adam.
They drive 20 kilometers an hour under the speed limit because they're like mortified that somebody in the other lane is going to come over, and so you spend the next half an hour in a stretch on the highway driving behind somebody that should have their four-way flashers on, and then as soon as a passing lane opens up, they go back to driving 110 kilometers an hour, and you can't pass them because they've just gone from 80 to 110 kilometers an hour, and then you've got to like floor the gas just to get around them, and then if you don't, they go right back down to fucking 80 kilometers an hour again on the other side. So there's that. That drives me batshit crazy. And then also, I adopted this one from my dad. This is one of the few things Dad will just flat out curse whenever this happens. It's when somebody passes you only to take the off-ramp 30 feet ahead. So they cut you off to put on the brakes to go off onto the next ramp that's like right ahead of you. Those two things drive me batshit crazy.
Mine is very simple. Women drivers.
Ooh.
I'm just joking.
No.
I'm just joking. I wanted to ruffle some feathers.
We just lost 3% of our viewership.
I'm just joking. I would say for me, the thing that pisses me off the most, and I'm an angry driver. So if somebody cuts me off or does something stupid, I'm the guy that'll speed up and just look at them and fucking like mouth fuck you, like that. I'm just that type of person. And there's one thing that'll make me do that every single time, and that is when somebody, I don't know which one I hate more. Dude, there's a lot of things that I get very salty at. I'm gonna go with, because I'm like you. There's two of them that are neck and neck. I would say, people that, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. People that honk their horn for no apparent reason other than to honk the horn. So, for example, if you're driving, there's a yellow light, and you're already committed. Like you're not speeding up to beat it. You're just committed. And then there's that person that is already out in the intersection taking a left, and they're waiting for you to stop at the light or go by. And then this is just one scenario, and you go. And they're getting ready to, they're just going to assume you're going to stop. And so they go, baby! or if you're changing lanes and you put your blinker on and you do your check, and they just start honking their horn. Like they just start like, and you're nowhere near to hit them. You're nowhere remotely close. You're like two cars lengths away.
You're starting the process. To change lanes.
And so they just honk their horn so prematurely that it pisses me off. So that I'm gonna go anybody that honks their horn when it's not needed. They just want to. That's their way of saying "fuck you" or like what are you doing? Hey, I'm here. It's like I see you. I see you. So that gets me like honking the horns get me going.
Yeah.
That's pretty, and people that cut me off too. I just don't like being cut off. Like if you're behind me, and I'm going the speed limit, or most times over the speed limit,
10 to 15 miles is reasonable.
And you gotta go, and you gotta pass me, and just to cut in front of me, and we're all going to the same place, and the traffic in front of me is not moving any faster. Why are you doing this? Why are you speeding in front of me?
Why are you the way you are?
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm with Miyagi too. When you're at a red light and they honk or a green light, it just turns green and they honk their horn like you're sleeping at the wheel or on your phone or something. It's like it just turned green and they're honking their horn for you to hurry up.
Give me a minute.
That shit.
All right, what about you, Panic?
A couple ones there. The thing I probably hate the most is on the 3-lane highways where you have the express lane or the passing lane, and people who go in there and they just pace the speed limit, or they pace the car in the lane next to them. And it's like, come on, guys! Like this is meant so you can move quicker with the flow of traffic or whatever. Tailgating absolutely drives me insane.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, there's no reason for you to be right on my ass. I'm going 70 in like a 60 area, like either go to the other lane or what. Like it's like, or just pass me. It's fine, whatever. Those two drive me absolutely insane. And then lesser so is probably when you just leave your turn signal on. You know, you're on a highway cruising for like 3 miles. Your turn signal's been
that
blinking.
doesn't bug me. You know what? When people do that, I go into like helpful mode and I'll speed up in front of them, and then I'll turn my blinker on and I'll turn it off and I'll turn it on and I'll turn it off and I'll turn it on.
Depends on the situation.
And then eventually they'll figure out like, why in the fuck is this idiot turning on his thing? And they look down and they go, oh shit, he's trying to tell me that my blinker's on. Like that actually never bugs me. I'm always the guy that's like, I'm gonna save the day.
Yeah, I've got one more. Before we move on to the next question. This is a very specific one. It probably happens in a lot of other places too, but I can make it more general. So the general one is people that can't stay in their fucking lane to save their life.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Like they're constantly half a wheel or a full
wheel. What are you talking about, Jeff? You're like a half lane with your truck all the time. I was like, Jeff, I don't think you're in line. Like, nah, I'm fine. I'm like looking over. I'm like, why am I seeing the lane line go like under me?
You know what I hate? You know what I hate the most, Tabin? I hate backseat drivers. That shit
I wasn't in your backseat.
The fuck out of me.
Wasn't in the backseat.
Backseat driving.
That it kills me, and the place I see it the most in this city is on Quimpool Road, the hill that goes, you know, you're going down or up, and it's a corkscrew, and people just can't tell where the fuck the front of their car is, and so if I'm going up the hill and somebody's coming down, I have to, even though I know I'm going to go back into the left lane, I will shove all the way over into the right lane, because I know if I don't, I'm gonna have to crowd the right lane over anyway, because somebody's going to run directly into my fucking vehicle as I'm going around that corner. Because for some reason, so many people can't take that corner. They have no idea where they are. Today I was driving up it, and it was a dude in a fucking Ram 2500.
Oh yeah.
and he was like his whole driver's side tire was in my fucking lane, and he's just talking to the guy next to him having a laugh, and I was like,
really, bro? Yeah, it's like, bud,
just stay in your damn lane, for God's sake. It's not that difficult. So yeah, there's the last one. All right, what's the next one? What do we got?
Well, we got Postal Panda. He said, will we see a LAGTV commentate curling?
Oh,
heavy hard.
I actually don't know enough about curling to be able to commentate it. Maybe that would make it more entertaining.
You guys are Canadian. What kind of Canadians are you?
I roughly know. I know the rules enough and stuff to watch it and understand what's going on. But if I had to sit down and do commentary, it'd be terrible. But maybe that would be the entertaining part. I'm gonna say no, though. Probably not. But you never know.
Mr. Miyagi asks, would you rather eat a bowl of shit or shit out a bowl?
I'm gonna go with shit out of bowl.
I'm gonna say shit out of bowl because he did not specify the size of the bowl.
Yes, there you go. We found a loophole. We found a loophole. Yeah, there's no real other questions.
Oh, here's one. Mark Blinkhorn. Marky Mark asks, what absolutely, unequivocally, bar none, 100%, for the love of all that is holy, instantly, now and forevermore, grosses you out the most? Related, for a follow-up, are you familiar with the Facebook works of Dr. Sandra Lee?
Is that the girl that pops pimples?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kayla follows her on Instagram and shit, and she's always watching people. She's got like a fetish for it. If I have a pimple, she's like, "Let me pop it." I'm like, "Get the fuck away from me."
It's so weird.
Yeah. What disgusts me? I don't know if I have anything. There's nothing that I don't. There's things that I can't stand. Like when people scratch a chalkboard, I can't deal with that. Like I just can't deal with it. That
doesn't bother me, but I know what you mean.
It bothered the living hell out of me, dude.
Microphone feedback.
Oh, that doesn't bother me. I'm used to that. But
like really bad microphone feedback?
Yeah, that hurts. But it's the sound of the nail scratching the chalkboard. I remember there was in school when this was before whiteboards came out, because when I was in junior high, elementary school, it was all chalk. Like everything was chalk. So there were times where the teacher would be writing shit out on the on the chalkboard, and I would have to leave the classroom until they were done doing it, because even like, I'm just thinking about it now, irks me.
Chalk being
And
too
it's
fresh.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's even the chalk on the chalkboard reminds me of the noise of nails scratching a chalkboard, and I just can't do it. So if there's one thing that really, really irritates me, it's that. That, and also, hearing and seeing people throw up. That.
Oh my god!
That I can't handle either.
Yeah, no.
I can't handle that. Well, I mean, like, it's really difficult. If I'm anything but feeling fresh as a daisy
MLG.
when it's happening, I will instantaneously also feel sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I guess my dad's the same way as well with that. But like, and so part of it is I almost never throw up. So I have like an almost phobia of getting sick to my stomach. Yeah. And so when other people are doing it, it's just like you go to a party and people are just wasted, and you'll hear like it's a thing that you hear.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'm like, I want to plug my ears, just be like, la 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 la.
Like,
no, not hearing it.
No,
Not hearing it. No.
Oh, who shit themselves?
But like other than that, I mean, yeah, there's nothing that disgusts me. There's things that I'll find harder to watch, I guess, in that same vein, like pulling teeth is a little rough. Watching somebody's teeth get pulled or
why would
or
you
whatever.
watch someone's teeth get pulled?
Well, the movies are fucked up. They do some
I
crazy
used to have,
shit.
I still do. Like, I have nightmares all the time of me losing my teeth. All the time.
Oh,
Well,
my
that's a
teeth
pretty
fall out in
common-
dreams.
yeah,
That's pretty horrendous, like horrifying.
That's a common.
I
That's a
wake up and I'm
common
like,
one
are my
for
teeth
sure, yeah.
Yeah,
okay? My
like,
teeth
I,
fill
like
my
I've been
face.
spitting. I've been like spitting out teeth. Like they're like,
Or they just feel loose in the dream.
they feel loose. Yeah, like they're fucked. Yeah, that happens probably like once every 3 months. I would say I have those, and I think they say it's something to do with fear of growing older or fear of the future or something like that of getting old. I don't know what kind of subconscious thing there is to that, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, there's just stuff that I just don't want to eat because it'll make me gag, or not even just make me gag, but it'll just
bones in food does that
upset
to
me.
me. I don't do chicken wings for that
Oh,
reason.
really?
I absolutely despise bones in food.
I actually don't mind. I mean, like, it's annoying, but I've never. It doesn't.
It's not
like,
annoying. It just disgusts me. I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't ruin it for me,
The
but
texture or
it
whatever.
doesn't get me going. That's for sure.
Or
Like,
the
I'm the type
texture
of
of
guy
tomatoes.
I find a hair in my food. I'm like, I don't fucking care. This is whatever.
texture in tomatoes.
I'm not a big fan. If it's like my dog hair or my wife's or mine or whatever, I'm like whatever. But if it's some stranger's hair at a restaurant and there's a big fucking hair in my food, that's it. I'm done. I'm literally. I won't even. I can't even. I mean, I'm not even the guy that's like, oh, there's a fucking hair. I won't make a scene. I'll just say, yeah, there is. There is a hair in my food. Like, it's like, can I get? No, I'm good. Like, I won't even. I'm done. My appetite's gone instantly.
Yeah, we were in a restaurant a couple of years ago. This was actually more like 15 years ago. And we were literally sitting there. It was like we used to go here all the time. It was called Rice Star. We're sitting at the table. Cockroach just crawls across the table. My friend literally just opens his wallet, puts money down on the table, like for the full bill for all of us who were there. Like, it was like 6 of us there, and he's just like, "We're leaving."
See ya.
We didn't even touch our food. We literally just up and left, and we never went back again. Like,
They're more Canadian. They're more Canadian than I am. I wouldn't be paying for that shit.
We used to go there all the time. I was walking by, and they're like, "Why don't you guys ever come anymore?" I'm like, "You guys have freaking cockroaches crawling across the table." We saw that. We're like, "We're done." Please.
Here's one that I can't stand. When you leave your laundry in the washer for too long after it's done, and like you forget about it, and it gets like
Smells funky.
smell.
Yeah, it's like a moldy smell.
And
Gross.
you have to wash your clothes like 5 more times to get that fucking smell out. You can't get rid
it's
of
that
it.
musty
And it's
smell.
And if you air your if you don't realize it until you've already put your clothes up to dry or some shit, your whole house smells like it for like 3 days, and you can't get rid of it.
Bro.
That shit fucking kills me.
But
Kills me.
There it is.
What else? Let's see.
We want to take some. I got one. We're gonna take this one from Blue Gris. It's a short one.
Okay.
He's one of our $10 patrons. He's a first timer, and it's his last time support's $10. Thank you for your initial support. We love you. Would you rather give up sex forever or be forced to eat your most hated food every day for the rest of your lives?
I'd eat the food for sure. But I mean, they didn't specify how much of it you need to eat, so if I can just take a
We'll
little
assume
bit.
it's your least favorite meal.
Yeah, that'd be pork chops, and it would be rough, but I mean, not as rough as my sex, so I would. There's no way I'm giving up. I'd honest to God, dude.
You'd get used to the food after a while.
Yeah.
That was just it.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, like, you hate it at first, and then you just be there. I mean, we had
I'd
to
probably give up the sex because I love my food.
Well, it doesn't mean it's the only thing that you can eat. It just says that you have to
eat it every
you have
day.
to eat it every day.
That's how much I hate certain foods that I would like. If I have to eat my most hated food every day, I'd be sad and depressed.
That's
I would
probably
be
fair.
way more sad and depressed if I knew I couldn't have sex again. That'd be like, why am I living? This is stupid. Like, I can't have children. I can't just, have sex.
Spank bank, bro.
Fuck all that. Fuck all that, dude. I'd eat a dick fucking twice a year to be able to have sex.
Well, how
Jesus.
magnanimous of you, twice a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's,
What if you had to
I
eat
ain't going
dick
more
every
than
day?
twice. I ain't going more than twice. No. I ain't going more than twice a year. I ain't going no more than twice.
Oh man, this one's topical. Comes in from Stuka, the man who does our timestamps in every YouTube video, the legend himself. Would you rather live in an area that gets yearly hurricanes or yearly wildfires? We're in that season for both of them.
So California or Florida?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
I'm going
fires.
I'm going hurricanes.
I'm
On
going
this one?
fires.
I'm going hurricanes on this one because you can build for hurricane, building for fire just not going to happen, and you're going to get evacuated every single time for fires. You're not going to get evacuated every single time for hurricanes. You can just more
Fires
easily
are slow
prepare.
moving. I'd
Yeah, I
rather
feel like-
deal with
I
a
feel like
fire as
fires
opposed to
are
a
safer.
hurricane that's moving at like 150 miles an hour.
I feel like fires are safer. You're gonna have a lot of time to prepare. It
You don't have a
sucks.
lot of time to prepare at all for fires unless it starts way the fuck away. I mean, think of the fire that happened where we are.
Yeah, but somebody started that fire like right in the middle. Like, that wasn't a wildfire. That was a straight up some fucking kids.
No, it didn't. Well, they didn't dig the fire out. Somebody was out in the woods and they didn't dig the fire out properly. But all the same, it's still a forest fire. The forest is on fire. It doesn't travel differently because some kids, had a bonfire.
Yeah, it's just like it's with a fire. You know what the fire is. With a hurricane, it's really dangerous. I mean, it can fuck. Like, even preparing for a hurricane, it can still completely fuck you anyway. I think you're far more likely to get killed or injured from a hurricane than you are a fire. Like, you like with a fire, it's just like, dude, there's a fire. Can we get the fuck out of here? Like,
Dude,
I mean, you can even drive through a fire.
We get pretty
like, if you
bad
wanted to. You'd
hurricanes.
be like, I'm out.
We don't get hit by hurricanes directly here, but we get hit by really heavy windstorms and like close to hurricanes here, and it's messy as hell. Like, trees fall, things go all over the place. It's just dangerous.
Yeah,
Like,
it's. I mean, fire
like,
is dangerous.
A fire
as fuck
is
too.
equally dangerous,
Yeah.
but in like a way that, like, look, if the wildfires are coming, you can get out. Yeah, you might lose your house or whatever, but the overall situation, I feel like, is less dangerous unless you're like a firefighter.
And also with fires is you can kind of control a fire. Like, even if it is a
You have to let
massive
it burn,
fire,
but you can kind of control it.
you can contain it in a way. Like, you can slow its process. With a hurricane, it's Mother Nature just going.
A nuke every 20 minutes for
you
the current
can't,
storm.
I mean, you just got to kind of sit and let it go and let it run its course. There's no other way. So I would say that. And, I'm not as scared from fire as I am, drowning or just getting fucking torn up in a hurricane. Also, like, your family and friends, you don't know, anything could just go wrong. So I'll go with the fire. It's because I can outrun it.
You think you can outrun a fire. You can't outrun a fire any better than you can outrun a fucking hurricane. Fire's some of the fastest moving fucking natural disasters on the planet. It's just, the only thing is we're thinking about like Vancouver fires that are happening far outside of metropolitan
Well, no,
areas.
I mean, we saw what happened in Calgary, and there was videos of the like forest burning all around them, but the roads weren't touched, and they were just still driving out of the city. I mean, that place got fucking flattened.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So, you know, I don't even know if anybody died. I don't even think anybody, I could be wrong, but
I mean, I just think the hurricane, like the one's happening right now, is Category 5. It's gonna absolutely fucking pump the tits.
It's doing Category 4 when
out
it
of
hits,
Florida.
but, yeah.
Florida man is not going to be around for a while because this hurricane is going to do some terrible, terrible damage. The thing is, Florida's got like 5+ days. Everyone in Florida that it's in the area of effect to do something about it.
A lot of people
fire
aren't
can show
evacuating.
up, and then inside of 24 hours, the fire has spread to the point where you're fucked.
Yeah, but look at it this way too. In Florida now, in those 5 days, you now have massive gas shortages. People are still stuck. They can't go anywhere.
Well, there's massive
There's-
gas shortages and shit because they're trying to fucking stay. They're just hoarding. Like, you're looking at people, like, in pictures, taking buckets,
No, the highways
filling them
are
up at the
jammed, too.
gas station. Like, just open buckets, not even gas cans.
Yeah, I
it's
saw
just,
the
like,
guy. I saw the guy with the
open
big
buckets, just like,
heavy
here, I
built
want some
garbage
gas.
cans in bed of his pickup truck. He's pouring gasoline into it.
So it's no wonder there's
And
fucking
Florida,
gas
Florida
shortages.
historically is not the most intelligent when it comes to their reserves. They only they consume gas almost as fast as they bring it in. Like as they're importing it and bringing it in, they
It's
only have
gone.
about 7 days worth of reserve. Every other state in the country, more or less, is looking at 14 to 21 days worth of gas that they have on hand at any given time.
Yeah, as soon as if I was like you know, southern Florida or anywhere in that general area, like the first time
They have hurricane
that
amnesia, too.
the tracker said there is like a 75% chance this shit is getting there and it's going to be huge, I would have been packed my car up, got the fuck
yeah.
out of Florida
Oh, yeah, I'd have been
so
gone.
fast.
Well, you
I
get
would have
hurricane
been
amnesia, though.
I had
It's like
people
a
on
thing.
Twitter. I had people on Twitter going, "Florida's so big, you can't like get away from the." Yes. If I have to drive for 20 straight fucking hours because a Category 5 fucking hurricane is about to show
I'm
up on my
gone.
front doorstep,
I'm gone.
Well, that's
Gone.
the thing. Like, and I'm gonna say this from personal experience. There are some really stubborn people who don't leave, but there's also some people who are just like, oh yeah, no, this is bullshit, and they're just gonna stay. I kind of made that mistake during Hurricane Sandy because the year, a couple months or maybe it was a year before, there was Hurricane Irene, where everyone was like, oh god, this is a massive hurricane, it's gonna screw everything up, and nothing really happened. It kind of came and went, and more or less things were fine. However, then Hurricane Sandy came around. And they were like hyping the hell out of this thing. Everyone was like, oh my god. And then they're like, oh no, it's not actually a hurricane, it's a tropical storm. So everyone's just like, oh yeah, no, this is not going to be that bad. For me, the only reason I went to my parents' house for Hurricane Sandy was because during Irene, I was completely fine. My parents got kind of messed up and they had some flooding. So this time around, they're like, hey, do you mind coming up here in case some stuff happens and we need your help? I was like, all right, fine, I'll go hang out there. And I get the phone call. They're like, hey, your building is no longer deemed suitable for occupancy because all the utilities are just right. I'm just like, what? So I literally at my parents' house. I was at my parents' house with like a day's worth of clothing and nothing. And I'm like sitting there. I'm like, well then, guess I'm wearing the clothes I had from like 7 years ago that mom still kept for some reason.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
I have
yeah,
photos of my office from when I was when I had to work from home for like 3-4 months. It was terrifyingly bad.
Oh yeah. They're gnarly, but yeah. So on the topic of Florida, and for those also who got hit by Harvey, rough hurricane season right now.
We got
I
three
hope
going at
everyone
once.
that is deciding to stay in Florida has got some seriously epic place to hang out and wait it out. I know and I appreciate that not everyone can evacuate for any number of circumstances, but at this point, I think you still got a couple of days before it hits.
Still got about a day or so.
yeah, just if you can and you're not 100% sure of the situation, get out of there.
Play safe and just get the fuck out. Don't be stubborn. Don't make excuses. Just leave. Find a way.
Yeah,
it's your life.
You can replace your shit. You can't replace your life if you get caught up in that.
And look, if the storm ends up not being as bad or it veers off into the Atlantic, so be it. Like,
yeah,
you know, you're still safe.
It's an inconvenience. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's not fair. But at the end of the day, you gotta be safe, man. Like, that's just if it was coming here for Nova Scotia, you bet your ass I would have been. I'd already be gone. It wouldn't even be waiting. I could be like 5 days out. I'd be like, all right, boys, I'm heading to Vegas for a week. I'll see you when it's all done, and I'll come to my house and we'll see how fucked everything I'll worry about it when I get home. But I'm not sitting here to play around. Forget all that. Bye-bye.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Let's do one more question.
All right, then I'm going to
I just realized that I've recorded this entire podcast, so it's going to get posted all at the same time because I'm not splitting a 3-hour file. I forgot to stop recording because we got that host. All right, yeah, one more question. What do we got here?
I don't know. There's like nothing left. I think we answered just about every single question on there.
All right. Okay, here's one that's quick, easy, lighthearted. Sergeant Dragon asks, if you guys were at a karaoke bar, which song do you think each other would sing? Jeff, without question, sings...
There's a few.
There's a few.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with depending on how much alcohol Jeff has, the songs change. But I'm gonna go with Dirty Pop as one for sure.
Yeah.
I would go.
That comes out almost every time, and then there's usually also at least one Michael song that gets tossed in there somewhere.
Go with Billie Jean or a Backstreet Boys song.
I always hit up an Enrique Iglesias too. Got to hit
that Hero.
Got to hit him with
Hero is when you're really wasted though. Yeah. Like you're fucked when Hero comes out.
Yes.
Dirty Pop is like you just started the night, you're feeling good, you can still dance around a bit, you got some energy.
That's right.
I say that Panic has one too many and tries to sing Despacito.
What?
I don't see that.
I have not actually even heard Despacito.
Yes, you have. What the fuck?
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. The Justin Bieber song.
You could not exist. You could not exist on this planet
this is how we
for
do
the
it
last
down in Puerto Rico.
I don't listen to radio.
You're full of shit.
I work in an office. I have not heard this song. I've heard parodies of it, but I haven't actually heard the song.
You're full of shit.
You
would be.
You're a pile
short of the fucking Amish. The Amish heard this shit.
When would I hear the song? I don't.
Oh, I don't know. Anytime.
It could be on a radio.
Dude,
you're walking down the street,
walking outside, and someone in their fucking car is driving down, listening to that shit.
Anywhere.
I walk 2 blocks and I'm underground. I think you guys are giving me way too much credit for being out in the world.
Panic, I don't believe you. I actually just don't believe you.
I seriously have not heard the song.
All right.
It is I think it's doubled on the most watched YouTube video all time, and it is also like the most download. I mean it's actually probably the most money has been made off of this song than like any other
parodies.
Dude, Justin Bieber made like $96 million last year.
That's good for him, man.
Like, it's just so much money.
Just Despacito.
So I'm gonna go for Panic. I'm gonna go shit. I just don't know, because I actually just don't know what Panic really fucks with. I'm gonna go with some Queen.
I could do Queen. See that being a thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
which Queen? Obviously not Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, the Mr. Popo theme. I don't know. You know what though? I'm actually gonna go with I'm gonna go with Bodies. by a drowning pool.
No, man, that's not. I don't go that hard. I'd be like a kryptonite
Stairway
guy.
to heaven.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that with what Mr. Miyagi said.
It'd be like a kryptonite guy, as more than bodies.
No, Panic. You know what Panic is? Panic sings Paralyzer.
Paralyzer.
What the fuck is Paralyzer?
Oh my
get the
god!
No, I
You
might-
get the fuck. You're
What
out
are
of
you doing on
you're
this
out of the podcast.
Holy shit!
Jesus, fuck me.
Oh, Finger 11. Yeah, no, I know this song.
Fuck,
Unbelievable.
man.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I would totally do this song.
Yeah, there you go.
This is totally
There you go.
something I would do.
Paralyzer.
Now that he's threatened to get fired. Oh yeah, that Despacito. Yeah. I know that. off
I
by
don't.
heart,
I
yeah.
do not know Despacito.
Yeah, I know that shit off by heart.
Yeah.
If you said Finger 11, I'd be like, yeah, I know that shit.
Yeah, I heard the alphabet song once.
I'm gonna go with for Adam. I'm gonna go. Can't get enough of your love.
What? I don't even
I
think I know
can't get
that
enough of your love, baby.
Yeah, I would
think
go
know
with
that
that.
song off the top of my head.
I think that's the one that Adam sings. I don't know why.
I've sang exactly. How do you not know this? I've sang exactly one karaoke song in my life, and it was at your 30th birthday.
Oh yes, that's right. You sang.
And I only sang 20% of it because I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't know the rest. You crushed the chorus. Everything
yeah,
else,
we
you
had
shit
it.
the bed.
Yeah. It was. It's not unusual.
Yeah, that's it. It's not. You know what? That is it. That's the one you're doing. That's the one you always do, or that you would always do.
Yeah.
It's not.
I only brought it out because you turned 30. It's the only time in my life I'm doing karaoke.
You brought it out
is
and
at your
crushed
30th.
it though. Brought it out and
Yeah.
crushed it. All right. Well.
Did Panic say?
I mean, for Jeff, I pretty much said like Billie Jean or like
Okay.
something from Backstreet Boys because he just loves their entire catalog.
That's
It
right.
makes sense. I've been out with Jeff
Mhm.
karaoke. I don't know for you, Adam. I feel like you might like if it's not gonna be Barry, it's gonna be some K-pop shit.
Barry. How the fuck am I
don't-
gonna sing K-pop?
I don't see him doing K-pop. I'm happy that Adam is kind of out of his K-pop phase. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know.
The
I
2
don't know if-
hours, maybe Phil.
K-pop.
Maybe
I'm
some
not-
Phil
I'm
Collins.
I'm
I'm
not
thinking
fully
about-
out of it. I just
No,
K-pop
you're
just
out.
sucks
I think
right now.
you know. I'm gonna
You
go
used
ahead
to
and
do like
I'm gonna
3
give a
hours of
victory.
K-pop.
I'm
You're
gonna
down
give
to, like,
one victory
none.
to your woman. All right, because ever since she showed up, I have
Dude,
not.
I got
have
her into
not been
K-pop
seeing.
and she listens to it more than I do now.
All right, well,
So,
I just don't know.
pull that
Well,
one
I
back.
get. Well, then there you go. I take it all back. I was trying to give her some props here.
I liked the K-pop that I listened to in that like 3.5 year period, and then I haven't liked K-pop very much since. Nothing's come out that I've been interested in, but every now and then I still get something that's catchy.
Adam,
But
I know
yeah.
your song.
What's my song?
Take Me Home.
Oh shit, Phil Collins.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's like trying to sing like a fucking
I don't know. I feel like if you got toasted, you'd be kind of like the
I
one who'd
feel
be
like
like,
if you
"Take
had
me
a gun-
home."
If you had a gun to Adam's head and you're like, sing this fucking song, he'd actually sing the song. He said, all right, fine. It's not going to be fucking good, but I'll do it. I think that's the song. I think that's the song he would actually do. So I agree with you there.
Oh man.
He'd even do like
Well,
the
there
drums.
you go. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Technical Alpha. The people on YouTube are gonna get confused as shit. Like, what do you mean next? Like the side B? This still goes for another hour and a half. What are you
just put it up
talking
and
about?
call it side AB. A and B.
Oh, ooh, AB positive.
A-
Side six pack.
That's right, side 6-pack. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Technical Alpha. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves. You're getting lucky. I'm gonna actually. This is gonna be a release on iTunes and everything. Everything's getting one file.
There you go.
You can shout outs to Base Trade because they're the reason why it's happening.
Yeah, and
So,
welcome guys. If you like the podcast, make sure to follow
the
us
follow button.
and check us out now coming Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern.
Yes, and hit up that Patreon. And for the love of all that is holy and sacred, we have been at 88 reviews, 5-star reviews on iTunes for like a hot minute. So let's get the rest of those 12 5-star reviews, get us to 100 so that I can sleep at night, or at least until they continue construction next door and wake up at 7.
Also, Panic is still shipping out stuff, right? You're still shipping
Yes.
out. Yeah. So Panic is still shipping out product for all those Patreon supporters. It's on its way. And Adam and I are getting together on Monday to record Retro Versus and start When Cheese Fails season for StarCraft Remastered. So you will get content for StarCraft next week, and you will also get some. We'll get out because we're behind for the Patreon stuff. So as soon as we get that recorded, we'll upload some Retro Versus for you guys.
Yes, it's all on track. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it from us for tonight. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you guys next time. But before we head out, we also have to, of course, thank our Patreon producers. Who I was just about to update this list.
Fuck it.
They're just getting free advertising.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure.
One job, Adam.
I'm pretty sure 95% of these people are still there. There's a couple that might be still getting some shout-outs, but we'll hit them up. Jetrix, Beastall, Joe McDong. I just want to say his name, even if he's not there anymore. Somebody, I want to know, is Joe McDong still in that list?
I couldn't tell you, but if not, he's forever in my list.
He's forever, yes, absolutely. I just
We're
like
down
saying
to
his name.
$700 executive producers.
Oh, okay, so 3 people are getting extra shout-outs for no reason. But I hope Joe McDong is still there, because I just like saying the name every time. Joe McDong, Sir Holmes, Postal Panda, Jamaican Jazz, Adam B, Toto Steel, Naily, Derek P, Fry C, and Ice Wolfie. Shoutouts to 7 of you.
You know who you are. The rest should feel guilty, like you stole something.
What's that Drake line? This ain't to get confused, but this one's for you, or some shit. But thank you very much, guys, for listening. We'll see you guys next week. This has been Technical Alpha, and until then, peace.
Bye.